Bo, mute. No. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining the show this week. That wonderful intro video that just played, we have Gonna Go For It, otherwise known as Peter, to thank for doing the work. Dude, I swear, that came out so much fucking better than I expected it to. Not to say that I was expecting bad work from you, Peter, it's just... Dude, you are fucking talented. I can see why that work you did for the client got rated, what was it, second out of 200 entries? Well, with that, welcome to episode 25 of Veterans Talk Weekly, and we have a surprise for everyone. We have a new entry onto the panel.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, mate. What's
Hey.
going on?
Oh, I've been busy. It's my son's 10th birthday today, so I've been busy all day.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta make certain parts of life important. They matter.
Yes.
But then again, thinking about it, a lot of the people that we pick on, they really don't have lives to worry about, so I don't feel bad about a lot of the grief that we give them.
No, it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Especially watching someone who claims to have $100,000 who quite clearly lives in his mum's basement.
Oh, no. A basement would be an upgrade for that guy. He's out in a shack. Like people think
Outhouse.
that Dell lives in a shed. No. Take a look at the background behind that fuckstick.
I think he's stalking me now. I put up a video about airplanes yesterday, and literally within 5 minutes, he put up a response video to it, completely misunderstanding the Coriolis effect.
To fight the flat Earth, I am a big fan.
Thank you very
I'm
much. That
here
means a lot.
Specifically tonight, through my intoxication, just to say hi. And I got called out the other night because I wasn't supposed to say if I was going to be here or not, apparently. So there's that.
It's very nice to meet you. Thank you.
I don't know if you caught that whole thing or not.
So my mic cut out a little bit there, so I do apologize.
I don't know, because I'm Schrodinger's cat, so I wasn't supposed to say if I'm here or not.
I understand now. No, well, I can hear you, so that counts as an observation, so you must be here.
Well, yeah, but you weren't supposed to know before.
No, I didn't. Not
And
until
I'm covered, I'm a cat somehow, but I'm covered in 10 pounds of puppy right now.
I've actually got 3 cats sitting next to me right now.
Cats and dogs living together. What could happen?
What the fuck is this world coming to?
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much
It's
for
a
having me on, guys. I
nightmare.
really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we've talked a little bit in the in your comment section, but yeah, you and Conspiracy Cats and some of the other newcomers are really a welcome addition.
Well, I've got a lot of spare time, to be honest. I've got to the point where I'm so physically disabled. My wife's had to stop work to be my carer, so I do have a lot of time on my hands. So both my kids are now at school day, so I thought I might use my knowledge and actually do something that I enjoy. So I thought, why not go and poke fun at idiots that think the Earth is flat?
Yeah, and deep respect for your plight. I understand you were a nuke. My
Yes.
brother was a nuke. My father was a nuke. I wasn't, but I like to make fun of them. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I'm always open to ridicule. I wouldn't have called myself Fight the Flat Earth otherwise if I didn't expect a lot of hate.
Well, no hate for that, because
No,
why the flat Earth is stupid.
I know. I'm enjoying the hate though. So
Well, and
I want more. The thing is, I make all these comments on people's videos, and they just block me. I don't even get any reply. They just block me.
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing is, you tend to go from your comments. You're hitting them a little too hard with the actual facts and knowledge on the outright. You kind of have to butter them up a little bit, kind of engage them softly, just like, hey, how you? You really think that kind of stupid? Really? Why is that? And then you hammer them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have been struggling to find a balance with how much information to kind of start with when talking with a flat earther, because I think I assume that most people know basic stuff. So when I get into a conversation or think about making a video, I'll do it on the assumption that most people will understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But then,
That's true too.
The people that think the Earth is flat
That's
literally
fact.
don't understand
That's saying,
anything.
isn't
And I've literally stood hundreds and hundreds of hours on the bridge of Navy ships, like looking out at the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to not respond as if someone's saying, "Hey, that little guy next to you isn't your kid." It's like that level of what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I knew about the flat Earth thing for I didn't really care about it. It wasn't on my radar. But my son came home from school a couple of years ago, actually really upset because one of his classmates and his classmate's dad had kind of made fun of him because he didn't think the Earth was flat.
Oh wow!
And that got me really quite angry. So then I looked into it, and then I realized that it's a lot more than people just thinking the Earth's flat. It's literally a cult, with the way that they will refuse all knowledge and then refuse any kind of outside knowledge and just say that it's all lying, and take you into this community that think that they know something that everyone else doesn't, and that makes them special.
It's the secret knowledge club.
Yeah. But they say they are the ones that know everything, but they don't have the most basic clue about what they're talking about. I almost feel bad for the amount of grief that I'm giving them, but almost.
Now, I do have a little bit of doubt recently because I heard this, little bit of knowledge, and I don't know how any of us can refute this, but I'm just going to lay it. I'm going to throw it out there, and we can, kick it around. But here it goes. Earth is flat. Suck my balls.
Oh God! I was really hoping you wouldn't bring up that argument because, quite frankly, that's one I can't debunk.
What are we going to do with that?
I guess we're going to have to concede, or we could just keep fighting the flat Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, flat out, couldn't even come up with that.
No, no. And this is the guy that equatorially mounted himself.
This is true.
Oh my God.
He, in my opinion, he really is the best flat earther on all of YouTube.
He's hilarious.
He really is the most genuine.
He's the only one that does experiments that he's designed.
No, he does experimentalization.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, I forgot.
This puppy in my lap is having a dream and running in his sleep.
Hey, Jared, I sent you a couple new images in Discord.
Yeah, especially like the second one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't got around to joining the Discord yet. Like, I've just been so busy with stuff. I will get around to it.
It doesn't work. Don't even bother.
Well, getting the roles set
Sorry,
up
Jared.
right was blame Piggy. Blame the pig. That all else fails, blame the pig.
Didn't Red kill the pig?
Red killed 3 pigs, but the cops thought it was 4.
Well, the pig I am referring to
Maybe it was
is
3.14.
But they did kill his Astra, didn't they?
He killed pie pigs.
But they did kill his Vauxhall Astra.
Yeah, well, I think hitting something like that at the speed he was going.
All right. So what type of boat were you on there? Fight the flat Earth.
I was on a few. For submarines, I was on Trafalgar.
Okay.
I didn't spend a lot of time on subs because after my first deployment, we had to go and redo our pressure diving training, and my inner ear exploded whilst at the bottom of the set tank.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I woke up in hospital 2 days after.
That couldn't have been too comfortable.
No, I mean, it's almost my fault because I knew I had a cold coming on and I couldn't clear my ears properly. And I just thought, I've always had no problems with it. It'd be fine. But I just struggled to clear my ears, couldn't equalize the pressure. And then I just started to get to pass out, and then woke up in hospital 2 days later after having surgery where they had to take some fat out of the back of my ear and then create like a new inner ear section for me.
Yeah, I had a friend who had an ear infection, and he was on a sub. And I don't know anything about submarines, but something happened where there was like an immediate change of pressure in the sub, and because of the pressure from the ear infection, like he had a major problem from that.
Yeah, it can be really dangerous.
We actually we were getting ready to play. We had a guy come down really sick, so we didn't let him come underway with us just so he wouldn't get the rest of us sick.
Yeah, no, the last thing you want to do is go in that enclosed environment with fresh germs going around.
Because it'll never go away.
No, just recirculate constantly.
Oh, you mean you guys don't want to have fun with the gastro? Come on.
Look, when you're in
No,
a
you
metal...
get that from the cooks anyway, so I mean, you don't have to worry about that.
Hey.
No matter, I had a whole bunch of injuries, but I wouldn't have changed my time in the military for anything. I spent quite a bit of time on surface ships as well. Westminster Type 23 frigate, HMS Invincible. But unfortunately, I just seem to be prone to accidents, and it kind of ruined my military career.
Well, at least you weren't as lucky as the guy that I saw on my first day doing a shadowing on the flight deck of the Kitty Hawk. The cross deck pendant snapped, and took out a guy, took off his right leg just above his knee.
Yeah, I saw something similar when we were restocking on HMS Westminster, and the torque chains between them, one of them snapped, and the guy was standing on the wrong side. Just like took off a whole section of like one of his hands. No idea where it went. Such a clean cut. The kind of the tension on those things is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen mooring lines part. Just that amount of pressure.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of scared me, to be honest.
But I've worked with a lot of English Navy officers throughout the years.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, why do y'all call them lieutenants? Where's the F?
They're talking real English.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I understand there's no F, all right, but it's the English language, and that's how it was first.
And as a word, it comes from the French anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah. I did make the mistake of once calling.
About the French,
I once made the mistake of calling a lieutenant a lieutenant, and he didn't like that. Do I look like some kind of Yank?
I could imagine, yeah. Because it's funny, because I was a lieutenant, and so all of my peers were lieutenants. We had a meeting one day, and it was at their shop. So we go over there, and we all go in and everything, and we're sitting down, and they're doing their intro and introducing themselves, and they say that they have tea and biscuits. I'm like, why in the fuck would they have biscuits?
Well, what else are you gonna have with your tea?
They meant they had cookies. And I was like,
no, biscuits, like actual biscuits, like a rich tea.
How can you mistake the difference between biscuits and? Oh, that's just.
The closest thing you get to that in America for proper flavor is actually a buttermilk cookie.
in my defense, we were at the U.S. Navy base in Bahrain, and they had American cookies and called them biscuits.
Yeah.
You know what I really want to get my hands on to give a try sometime is a Jammy Dodger.
Jammy Dodgers are awesome.
They are.
I keep hearing that, and when I first heard of them, we can actually thank Doctor Who for that one.
Do you guys have Jaffa cakes over there?
Never heard of that. So,
Oh my
We'll
god.
have to send them over some stuff, aren't we?
Jaffa cakes are like, they're really soft biscuits with chocolate, but they've got like a marmalade little bit of gel in the middle. It's just
They're
incredible.
not biscuit. They are sponge
Are we
cake.
talking,
Yeah, okay.
You
That's
don't
fine.
pay VAT on them.
Yeah.
but are we talking 10 inches diameter or?
No, just like
less?
No,
very-
about the same
very
as a
small.
biscuit.
Yeah, the real biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up for a care package. I'm just saying.
Yeah, seriously, look up Jaffa cakes. They're amazing. They're very popular in my house.
I do have these puppies. Y'all could, send something too.
Aye.
Not necessarily so good for the puppies because they are covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
But that's the truth.
Well,
Why are
that
you biting my
just
ear?
means that the cat has to taste test them first.
Here's a question about American confectionaries. Why does your chocolate taste like dust?
That was beautiful. No,
see,
I don't have to answer that.
Here's the thing, Craig. Getting into that area, you're getting into the reason why I'll actually embrace my German heritage because of the chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chocolate and beer.
16th German? Come on.
What have the
what do you
Germans
guys-
ever got wrong? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Let me think. No, let's not go there.
Oh, come on.
I don't know if I've ever brought this up before. There's a guy on YouTube called the Amazing Racist. Have y'all ever seen him?
The Amazing Racist.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right.
So he does these little skits, and there was one where he's at a gas station. He's dressed up as the gas station attendant, and this guy pulls up in a Volkswagen, and he walks over, and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, pats the car. And he's like, "The Germans."
Oh
He's
yes,
like-
no, I've seen this guy before. Yeah, I know the one you mean. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, the Germans." He was like, "They were so right. They were just misunderstood in the end."
The Amazing Racist asking Jews to sign a petition. That one was
Oh
funny.
yes, to apologize for killing Christ.
Yeah.
And then he did the one where he goes into the dry cleaner with his white cap and hood,
Yeah.
and says he calls the guy Mr. Jefferson.
Oh man, it's almost one of those ones where it's hard to watch. You can't kind of look at the screen.
And the funny thing is, he's Jewish. His name is Ari.
Yeah, very funny guy.
I wonder how he would take to the type of humor that usually flies around on the Hangouts hosted by Gio Schreber.
Oh, that was great when you talked about the roast. That was a classic line. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, there were a few. There were a few.
No. He got invited to the roast, and his response was that, "Do you think that I would be good at a roast because of my national heritage?"
Speaking of that sort of dark, twisted humor, there's one joke that's come up a few times on shows with him that I actually said to someone that I was playing softball with, and even they were like, "Wow, that's fucked up, but fucking hilarious." So
yeah, I've talked to Gio a lot on, just back and forth because my final deployment was at Stuttgart. And, of course, I had a rental car for that deployment. but my normal car is my normal truck is a full-size Tundra.
Oh,
And I was talking to him. I was like, I don't know how I would get my truck up and down y'all's streets because they're so narrow. And he was like, yeah, that just wouldn't work.
Yeah. Most American style vehicles are nothing but a traffic problem waiting to happen. But
yeah, in anywhere other than the U.S. or I guess Canada
and Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah, yeah. I've driven down there.
A high enough lift kit, the right tires, and you went.
well, you gotta make sure you camber the tires right at that point too. But there are some parts of Germany where the second floor of the building actually hangs out starting over into the street, so you can't lift up too much.
But you can't hate their speed limits. Oh my God.
Oh no. But
yeah.
So here's a question for everyone. How many Jews can you fit into a Ford Fiesta?
This is going to be funny, but I know I shouldn't laugh at the answer.
Any guesses?
No.
No, but I have a rebuttal.
55. 5 in all seats and then 50 more in the ashtray.
Oh God.
Okay. My rebuttal. Have you heard of the new German microwave?
No.
Seats 500.
Oh, it's so wrong, but so right.
See, and these are the types of jokes that come out just naturally when we're playing a game like Quiplash, which
Oh, that reminds me. I'm working on a video of Mr. Atheist's Quiplash that he did after the Golden Nuns, where I'm doing color commentary. I'm scripting it out right now.
I can't wait to see it. That's gonna be, you got to give Non Sequitur credit for what they've been able to build over. I mean, it's only been what, a year, if even
Just under a year now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what
Since
they
they started.
They were one of the main reasons I started my channel after seeing Red on there and stuff, to be honest.
But because Kyle was playing on it, one of the shots he's looking off to his right, to his left. I'm sitting there. I'm like, what can I do with this? Oh, I know. And there's Kyle still looking at Red's picture from last time.
Yeah.
It was just funny because the whole time Mr. Atheist is trying to do the color commentary, fill the gaps of time, but at the same time he's trying to type away his answers too. I'm like, you should probably have somebody in your stream just for that sole purpose of doing color commentary, or maybe a couple people to bounce back and forth during the dead air. He's like, that's a good idea, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a video on that. So I'm just debating on which one of the 3 or 4 games they played I'm going to actually do it on. So I'm kind of scripting out every single one just so I can figure it out.
It's funny because I was just listening to G-Man versus what's his name?
Kyle?
Kyle, yeah. And I'm just thinking, why doesn't G-Man know the definition of words? That was the whole problem of the discussion. It wasn't that they were they had a disagreement. It's just G-Man didn't know the definition of words.
Well, and that really is
no.
Well, it really is
He's just an
crucial.
asshole.
Well, it's not. It goes beyond that. Not only is he an asshole, he's an ignorant asshole who has to assume, no, what I say is right, and oh, you're challenged me? Fuck you.
He didn't know what genocide means.
Yeah.
It's the problem
If
with a
you
lot of these.
kill all of
kids,
them,
they make
it's
up
not
their own
genocide.
definition of words.
Well, and that's what I was going to compare it to, because shockingly enough, G-Man is not a flat earther, but his behavior on certain topics is right in line with them. make an assertion, refuse to back it up, or use circular arguments, or straw man your opponents. That's what they fucking do. Which is why, back to what we were talking about before, my general initial tactic with a Flurfer I have not interacted with before, like, think back to the after show when I started talking to Mind of Dipshit, Mind of God, Mind of It's Fucking Lost.
That guy
Hold on. He has the same degree that you and I have.
He does not have a degree. I'm sorry.
He claims it, but that's why I have my doubts, simply because when I asked him if he understood how an EME bounce worked,
I listened to it, and he does not have a degree in anything like electrical engineering.
He didn't understand how a level worked. Come on, a carpenter's level. He didn't understand. I literally spent half an hour trying to explain to him how a carpenter's level worked, and
What, you mean a bubble level?
yeah.
I couldn't succeed. He just could not understand. Like,
5 minutes into that, I knew he did not have an electrical engineering degree. Like, Jared and I have one. He doesn't.
when
To
I
be honest, I don't have an.
I just have a problem understanding a bubble level.
Yeah.
I have
I
to
don't
watch
have
that interaction.
an electronic engineering degree, but I have experienced EME bounce before because I've used it to contact other amateur radio operators across the world. So I have used it. I don't need an engineering degree to actually know it fucking works.
That's what I'm saying. He does know
This
basic
practice,
things.
I mean, when Non-Sexual emailed me and told me his apparent qualifications, I thought, oh, I might have a battle on my hand here, someone that maybe knows what they're on about. But no, I mean, it was
Apparently not.
it was just, it was frustrating for me because, again, I went into it assuming that he was intelligent.
It's as if he knew a few keywords.
Yeah, he'd found some
he had
phrases,
done a couple
stuck to
Google
them.
searches.
But he definitely knew what the word orthogonal meant. He didn't know what it applied to.
I don't know if he knew what orthogonal meant. I don't know that.
Well, his
Not
description
sure.
was technically
Nobody
right, but it was
found
just
out.
what he was trying to apply it to wasn't. You know, you can't really use that outside of like signal processing and stuff. So why was he trying to apply it to gravity in the first place?
Because he did a Google search.
Unfortunately, he didn't, say what the speed of light was.
No, he didn't even know C.
300,000 kilometers per second.
I
Sorry.
don't
Okay,
I don't
maybe a little bit, but still. Jeez.
I don't care how long it's been since you've gotten your bachelor's in any engineering.
You had
No.
to take physics.
Not just that,
He was
knowing
all over the place.
what C is should be like in
Yeah, it's like knowing Ohm's law.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody showed Vast and Ohm's law.
Well,
you
he
know,
was asked about what's it, Farham's law and stuff, and he didn't really get that. And I don't have a massive amount of electrical engineering knowledge. I've touched on little bits during the minute training, and I've got a degree in physics, but I didn't know a massive amount about electrical engineering. So, I thought that he would be able to out debate me in that. But the stuff that I briefly researched seemed to surpass the knowledge that he apparently had with a master's degree.
Right.
I mean,
And thank you for clicking like on my comment that thank God he was Canadian and not American.
Yeah.
ouch. I mean, at least he could have, shown
He did
the
that for
difference
me.
between.
He threw me that bone. He was not American.
I mean, just to start with, who calls themselves the mind of God?
a narcissist.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm
Sorry to mention his name.
I'm supposed to have a video out about Mind of God tomorrow, my second episode of Flurfs Are Idiots, but I'm finding it hard because I have to rewatch his videos to be able to make it. And I can only hear him say orthogonal so many times before I want to stab myself in the ear.
But is he a Poe?
No. Looking back through his videos, he genuinely believes that he is the smartest person on the planet. The RFID chips are the mark of the beast. And the God is actually the one that's deceiving everyone, and we need to wake up. Or he is totally what he is saying is right.
What are we up against when a Poe is indistinguishable from someone who's just dumb?
I think you can tell. Eventually. I mean, a Flat Out Hero, for instance, he's definitely just dumb. I did consider if he was a Poe, but he's just dumb.
Oh, he complete stoner dumb.
Yeah,
Like give stoners a bad name level dumb.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but there is people that are Poes. Like personally, I think Jeranism is a complete Poe.
Right. And Orphan Red, you know,
Professor
definitely.
Funbucks.
Yeah. She has a new name. We gotta use the proper title for her.
Yeah, Professor Funbucks.
Now, someone who I think is not a Poe, I think definitely is not a Poe, is D Marble. I think he's just that dumb.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I did have to think about it, but like watching his videos, the one about when he was trying to say, "Oh, look, here's an eclipse," and NASA can't even fake an eclipse, right? Like,
And it wasn't an eclipse, yeah.
no, yeah, his basic misunderstanding of even what things are supposed to be makes me think it's possible that he is a flat earther.
I sent him.
But my
I made a
Phoebe,
comment.
that's up there.
Yeah, I made a comment on one of his videos when I just kind of noticed. I didn't even know yet that he lives in a van. But I looked and I said, "Is he in a van?" And I wrote a comment. I said, "Are you in a van?" And his response was, "Are you a debt slave?"
Oh my god.
My response was, "No, no, I'm not a debt slave." I don't know why you said that.
Yeah.
As if you live in a van or you are a debt slave.
I've got a project coming up that actually involves Simon Dan, Goddess Engineer, Conspiracy Cats, McToon, Young Blue Skeptic, Greater Sapien, and me.
Oh, well, that's a dream team.
Yeah, we're doing a rap diss track together.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And a lot of the lines that Simon Dan is doing are about D Marble being in a van down by the river and stuff. So I'm really, it's coming together. It's taken a while because there's a lot of pieces to put together. We've got someone writing the music and doing all the editing and getting everyone to get the right words together and everything. It's probably going to come out in the new year, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I used to just respond to a lot of his videos and with just down by the river, but I think he blocked me long ago. So I think I'm blocked by everyone.
Oh, I was blocked
But
by
is that bad a thing? I mean,
Mr.
Or it's a badge of honor, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
for a lot
exactly.
of, if you're blocked by a lot of them, it really is a badge of honor. My current badge of honor, though, is the fact that Jaren finds me even more annoying than Red.
Oh wow,
That's not
That
possible.
Ouch.
I've only directly spoken with the guy twice, and he really doesn't like how I don't pull any punches. It's like, oh, you really think that? Here, let me just ram it right back up your ass.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can add that to my shadow box, like blocked by flat earthers.
Red is probably the biggest inspiration for me starting my channel. Listen to him rip people apart. It was just absolutely fantastic.
There's something like there's that little thing like that certain comedians have or certain actors have that Red has that you can't put your finger on it, but it's just that thing.
It's just like
there.
you can't stop listening to it. You know how awful it's going to be and how much of a train wreck it is, but you can't stop listening every time. It's just beautiful. But
It's like crystal meth. Basically.
Yeah. So I was, when he started inviting me onto the Hangouts, I've been really, really happy about that because, he's the person that I kind of really wanted to learn how to do things from. And I can't make a lot of my own observations because I am housebound, and I kind of need to rely on other people for that. And like, he's done so many good observations about things that I can always refer back to his videos. I would love to do more stuff myself, but it's just hard.
There's been several times when I've seen flat earthers that I know are sort of new to the game, and I just shoot them a link to his page.
Yeah.
I'm like, just here, just look at this. When a submariner finds something that bothers,
oh no, that's military in
that's
general.
just sort of anybody on deployment.
Oh, you think you've got it bad?
Yeah, why don't you buy me this thing for $199?
And
That's fine.
by the way, JPack, check your Discord direct messages. I made sure you got the link there. Get a little more variety on the panel.
Yeah, get more non-Navy folk on the live stream. That would be great.
We
yeah.
can't help it that you guys are afraid of us.
Yeah, what's wrong with being like the senior service?
Well, and not just that. 70% of the surface of this wonderful globe is water.
Oh yes.
Oh, and I love answering people when they say that 70% of the Earth is water. Flat Earthers
Yeah.
love to say 70% of the Earth is water. No, it's not.
No.
70% of the
just as much,
surface is water.
just as much as the speed of the Earth rotating is supposed to be 1,000 miles per hour. No, that's around the
The
equator.
speed of the Earth rotating is 0.
Rotation is not measured by miles per hour.
RPM.
Yeah. Jeez.
Half
Yeah.
as fast as your hour hand on your clock. I mean, technically,
It's so
the-
easy to say that. Yeah, but it's so easy to just say, well, the speed of the blah blah blah, blah is supposed to be X miles per hour.
yeah, like they're technically right that at the equator it's moving at just over 1,000 miles an hour, but that's not really what's an important factor in anything that's going on.
Exactly.
Right. And that's only true at a very, very small portion of the surface of Earth.
Exactly.
Oh, nothing
And
really
yet still-
matters. Anyone
And
can
still
see.
some.
I like it when they talk
sauce.
about how if it was moving that fast, how could you hear somebody then? Like
Yeah.
Or
sound
What
is
if-
an absolute.
Yeah,
Wait.
they didn't realize that
why couldn't you just take off and just wait?
Wait, are they asking if the planet is moving at 1,000 miles an hour?
they think
How can
they just think that because the equator, the land speed is technically just over 1,000 miles an hour, they take that as the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. So
Right.
they're like, we should be flung off it, but they don't realize that that actually equates to an RPM of 0.006974.
Yeah, they don't understand ratios and relationships. I mean, hell, these people have a problem with two-dimensional thinking, let alone three.
How the
Honestly.
fuck do they fucking fly?
I always joke that they look at an hour hand on a clock and get dizzy.
Yeah, but it's not only how do they fly, how do they tie their own shoelaces and wipe their own ass is what I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, do these guys not realize that they use the things that science has actually established over years? They use this every day in their life.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that makes me so angry, because they think that they are, entitled to debunk thousands of years of the greatest minds humanity has ever produced because they've watched a couple of YouTube videos and have seen the truth.
Well,
It's
YouTube,
basically
it'll debunk
a
anything.
snowflake country.
But do your research. That
Yeah.
means look at YouTube.
Yeah, do your research.
Well, hey,
Watch a YouTube video.
YouTube is
Oh.
based on knowledge, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I
yeah.
always find it hilarious when they say, do your research, and you're like, okay, well, and you start giving them papers, like actual peer-reviewed and scientific journal type of references, and they're like, no, you need to research the flat earth. And it's like, oh, really? What's your research? So they give a bunch of YouTube videos, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, hang on. You go find YouTube videos like Chris Hadfield, that motherfucker is amazing. And it's like, oh, you want to see water conforming to the outside of an object? Here, watch this video. Well, that's just fake CGI.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, I asked a flat earther. A guy goes, he just got booted out of the Great Debate Community. I'm not going to belabor it or anything, but he asked he's a flat earther, right? He bases his flat Earth belief on a literal interpretation of the Bible. And I asked him, I said, okay, that's cool. How do you explain lunar and solar eclipses? He told me, you need to research that. I know the answer, but I need to research that. I'm like,
Yeah, he didn't have
Okay.
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, so how do you explain? Because in his mind, he said, the Earth is flat but round. It's round, but it's not spherical. It's round like a dinner plate, flat. Because I confirmed that with him. And the Earth, the sun and the moon rotate above it. And I was like, okay, how do you explain us observing solar and lunar eclipses? That fucked him up.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
there
you get
you
onto
said-
things like angular velocity, angular size. You know, obviously, if you were on a disk with the sun above you going around during the day, the angular size of the sun would change. But obviously, because it's 93 million miles away from us, the angular size stays the same. So I tried discussing this with Flat Out Hero, and I took him through the equation for the angular perspective, alpha equals 2 arctan over G2R. And his answer to me was, oh, well, I don't need to know that stuff. It's not important to me. I was like, how are you going to try and argue your facts if you just want to ignore the things that make these facts facts?
Yeah. But
Well,
the one thing that really got me about Hans S was when he told me that the reason you have night and day is because the sun is small and it's moving away from you.
Mhm.
So that's what causes. And so I asked him, I said, based on your perception, based on where you're at, and I said, based on your vantage point, if the sun is moving away, you would observe it getting smaller. Yes.
Yeah.
And then as the day is actually increasing, you would observe the sun becoming larger in the sky. So you would see it coming, right? You would either see it going or coming. And he had no answer for that one either. I was like, Jesus
No.
Christ, dude.
all I can think of is the video of there was an English video of the guy with the little cows, and he's explaining to the simpleton. He's like, "These
This is
cows
small.
Barbara Ted.
This
small,
is far away.
far away."
I
And I
use that.
just want to play that in a loop for flat earthers.
I used that in my video against Flat Out Hero last week when one of his experiments that he did was putting the camera on the floor, walking to the other side of his backyard
Yes.
hovel with a lighter and then scraping it along the floor towards the camera like he was trying to make a point. He didn't explain anything, there was no description of what he was doing, there was no explanation, that was just
Right.
it.
And
So-
that's the answer: small, far away.
Yeah, exactly.
Jared,
And that was
They don't seem to understand that there's a vantage point issue when it comes to the whole pinching your head. Like you're
Yeah.
standing, right? And you stand back from someone and you consider based on your perception, you can hold your fingers out and you can literally, based on your point of view, based on your vantage point and your point of view, you can literally sit there with your fingers and pinch someone's head in your like you're pinching their head as though you can actually it boggles
that
my
must
mind.
mean
It's
you're
like,
a giant, obviously.
no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
And,
Uh,
apparently my thumb is bigger than my 55-inch TV on my wall. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah, if you get far enough away, yeah, you're right. If you get far enough away, you stick your thumb up, and all of a sudden, my thumb is 55 fucking inches. All of a sudden,
And the other thing that I find laughable is like let's look at the video that Miles did that Ranty
Miles
and them
Davis.
have a problem with where
Collimation.
where in the hallway he set up the cans stacked on top
that
of each
one.
other, and it's like, oh yeah, look at the top ones, look at how it's coming down. It's like, yeah, but then look at the bottom, how it's rising up.
well, real quick,
They literally
Jared,
don't understand the parallel lines.
you
do
submitted
not cross.
the preacher guy. What's his
Brother
name?
Ernest?
preacher man,
No, dumb fuck of the year.
Matt Powell.
Taxes. The guy that didn't pay his tax.
Kent Bovine. I mean Hovine.
Right.
Oh, Hovind.
He
Yeah.
said in a debate, because we were just talking about this a few minutes ago, someone told him in a debate they laid down a giant stack of peer-reviewed papers, and he said, "That's not evidence, that's papers." And I'm thinking, isn't the Bible papers?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
how did no one say, well, isn't the Bible papers?
Did anyone tell him that they could just discount the Bible because it's also papers?
It's papers. That's literally the same thing that you just said. Isn't?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember I was watching one of the Aaron Ra responses in his
Oh,
back and
Aaron
forth.
Ra is.
But he's doing a back and forth video type
I
debate
know,
with
I
Hovind
know.
right now, and that's
Aaron
where I
Ra
saw
is the
that.
Red's rhetoric of debunking that dumb fuck.
Has Red given up these conversations with flat earthers? Yes and
Yes and no. He's
Yeah.
not actively searching them out at this point because he's already satisfied the purpose of his channel, which was to get the debate with Jism and then completely rape him to the point that he will never sit right again.
Yeah.
At
Oh
this,
yeah, he walks funny. I don't know if you've seen Jism walk, but
It's like a cowboy.
Wait, did anybody?
yes.
No, did anybody see that? Somebody posted on Google Plus that Duranism, which I'm assuming is who
Yeah.
yeah.
Jared is referring to as Jism, where he actually proved the curvature of the Earth by doing that light or that image
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
test.
You need to watch Goddess
That's odd.
Engineers.
That's interesting.
Video. He's that's it was a documentary about the flat Earth core that's been done, where they went out and did a whole bunch of experiments, including buying a $20,000 gyroscope, like the most accurate one you could get. So they thought it would prove that the Earth doesn't spin. Now, obviously, what you should see is that a 15-degree movement per hour, which is exactly what they got.
Oh.
And then they tried to lie and say, "Oh well, that's obviously because we're measuring the movement of the heavens."
What?
Yes. Yeah. So hang on. I need to go to my Hangouts because some of my friends are so fucking wonderful. We have the clip from that hit piece documentary of Bob Nodal saying that these initial results from this gyro, they're really bad for us. I'm gonna find that link and share it
earlier today.
It's so funny.
Out of curiosity, though, has anyone ever brought up, and I'm sure it probably has been brought up, but I'm just asking for my own curiosity because I haven't actually heard the answer. When you bring up the fact that Magellan circumnavigated the globe,
Oh
he
well,
circumnavigated.
he just kept turning right.
Yeah, I've also been told that he went.
Oh,
He just got
But
to
your
the
compass
Antarctica
bearing
and turned
didn't-
around.
but if he kept
Change.
turning right, he could have just taken a fucking sharper right and gone right into the ice wall, right?
Right.
No,
Fucking
because
idiots.
the Navy would have stopped him and arrested him.
But
The NASA Navy, obviously.
Navy officer here, compass bearing. If
Yeah.
you're going the same direction, your compass bearing doesn't change.
They don't understand compasses.
Right.
Oh
And
yeah, that's
if you're
that's
going
the
to
other
tell
thing.
me, if you're going to tell me that north is in the middle and south is at the edge, then you have to show me another example of a single-sided magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I was going to actually ask a flat earther was, so if you're flying due north, and you're flying due north, does it eventually turn south? Yes.
Correct.
So, based on that, would that not tell you that the Earth is actually, is that not at least to some extent substantiating the idea that the Earth is spherical? Because you've gone north this entire time. You've never ended at anything, but now all of a sudden you're going north, and you've crossed over the North Pole, and now all of a sudden you keep going, and now all of a sudden your compass starts turning back the other way. It starts turning back.
Well,
The
what
way
they
it
say is that the outer rim, which to them is the South Pole, is the whole thing is a magnet. So no matter where you are on the Earth, on the flat Earth, if you're heading towards the rim, you'll be going south.
Right. Then show me a single-sided magnet.
Then how would you? But then how would going north be going north? It would automatically be going south, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they don't understand this.
Oh my God! Jeez.
It's like when they
I'm not
say
even
that
a fucking-
gravity is electromagnetism.
I'm fucking homeschooled for fucking Christ's sake, and I was homeschooled in a Christian fucking way. I don't even. I get this fucking idea. How the fuck?
Gravity's electromagnetism. Why don't I float in a Faraday cage?
Right.
That's a good
And
point.
how does non-ferrous objects get pulled down? And why doesn't water get pushed up?
Yeah, they don't understand many things, including how your eyes work.
I can push water
Why?
up if I put something in a glass. I'm just fucking with you.
I mean, they're
But if you disagree, then you're part of the Illuminati Jew Lizard cabal.
one of their biggest things is that they say that the fact that water will always go level, it will always seek to be level. That
Yeah,
proves
but
that
level
Yeah.
doesn't mean flat.
And the whole concept of water will always seek to be level is wrong anyway, because the fact is water will conform to whatever forces are acting upon it.
Correct.
If you put it in a container, there's pressure at the side, so it's conforming to that. If you attack it with sound waves that are strong enough, you can make it conform to whatever you want based on those forces. Water will act on a force, and the force that's making it conform to the sphere is, do we want to say it together? Gravity.
So
Yeah.
so basically,
I
denying
think the actual correct pronunciation of that is gravity. You fucking retards.
Yes.
Gravity.
yeah. So they're
Absolutely.
denying what Bruce Lee said. Be like water.
Yeah.
Conform. Be like
Exactly.
water.
or as Kent Hovind would say, water.
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 And then
Water.
they have this idea in their head that real science means that you have to be able to repeat an experiment on a scale at any time. So they say, because we can't then show them water just sticking randomly to an outside of a sphere in laboratory conditions, that proves that it can't be done on the big scale of the Earth.
If
I
you
mean-
can't do this impossible thing, then
Yeah.
it's not real.
I mean, if I went outside in a force 10 gale and tried to light a match, it's not going to work. Does that prove the match doesn't work?
No. That just
Oh, Jay Brown. Yes, I love that image.
Might have to get that screen silked onto a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
can't
is
see-
a good one.
So
I can't see my computer right now.
The whole gyro thing, with globe busters and everything. I found the clip that someone posted. It is a link to a YouTube video. I am putting it in the live chat. It's not that long, but go give it a watch. He is Bob Nodal on camera saying, "Yeah, the ring laser gyro, it's not looking good for us."
Oh, the rail gun. The rail gun. I have been through
Okay,
this so many times.
I'm unfamiliar with this, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was at JSOC, I got sent on a trip to go down to see the DDG 1000 class ship. It has an electromagnetic railgun, and it uses electromagnetism to shoot not a combustible, warhead, but just a chunk of metal.
Yeah,
Use
and it's based
electromagnetism.
on. Yeah, it's based on.
Of course.
Correct. It does it at such a force that it's almost like a meteor. And so,
It's a concussive effect, not an explosive effect.
correct. And it does it at such a rate that it has a range where it shoots it way, way, way the fuck over the horizon. So that it can answer what we would call calls for fire. I know Bo would probably know what a call for fire is. If you're a ground-based force, and you got some dudes, 3 clicks away from you, and you're like, "Hey, fucking blow them up," and you would call a ship, and they would answer this call for fire, and blow them the fuck up. So anyway, it can answer a call for fire at over 100 miles away. And that's way over the horizon. So flat earthers think that that's a straight line. And so they say that since it can answer a call for fire at over 100 miles away, the Earth can't be a globe.
Did you understand that there's that the computations based on being able to do that are based on the fact that the Earth is
Not just spherical, but rotating.
exactly.
I have sent them the documentation, and I can send it to Jared right now, who can post it. I have the military documentation for
What is the-
artillery.
What is the
It
velocity?
talks
then,
about the
actually?
circumference of the Earth.
But okay, so the other thing that I know, one of the things that Hans S brought up was that the reason that certain things work is because of balloons. He seems,
As satellites.
As if there's not wind.
yeah, correct. Because that's another question that I brought up was how does a sat phone work? And he brought up, oh, it's simply balloons. It's a balloon. So I'm like, where's the balloon? And can you see them?
Doesn't GPS require a constantly moving matrix of satellites?
Yes.
Yes, and also in a
Has to
particular
factor,
orientation.
Yeah. So how would that
factor
happen with balloon?
relativity.
But everything that we do, everything that we know, is based on the fact that we use Google Earth every day. We use GPSs every day. There's GPSs on our phones. There's GPSs in our cars, depending on what model car you have. These cars, the coordinates that the GPS is using is based on that particular model. Yes, on the
Yeah.
fact that the Earth is a spherical shape.
Yeah.
Not that the Earth has been. Not that the Earth isn't spherical, but that okay. Well, no. What they did was they took a GPS. What I'm doing is granting the argument that. Oh no! What they did was they took a spherical shape and it could still be flat. It could be flat, and then they based it on that. But that doesn't seem to correlate, right?
It's all part of the conspiracy. All the GPS in all the cars and everything. It's all programmed to make it look like you're on a sphere. You know, they're all working together.
Well,
The lizards did it.
the hilarious one about that I enjoy is how they say that all GPS is ground based, and
What?
yes, they say that it is ground based, not satellite based, which which is why it still works, and they say it's tied into the cell phone network. The two main arguments against this is, well, then why can I get a GPS signal where I cannot get a cell signal?
Yeah.
Like the middle of the
And-
ocean, for instance.
Yeah, and let's go back to the aircraft. Like my specialty, like my wheelhouse. Does anyone want to venture a guess where the receiver antenna for the GPS navigation system is installed on all aircraft, military and civilian?
I'm going to guess it's not the bottom.
The top, just like your car.
Yep.
Right on the spine, and on your commercial aircraft, it's actually typically about a meter in front of the vertical stabilizer.
And there's this one guy who used GPS in the middle of the ocean.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I just threw that out there. In Bandcamp? I'm just saying.
And no, Athena, skid mark is not in here.
Who is Skidmark?
A wonderful piece of shit that goes by the name Spurkismo.
Oh.
Does
Didn't he,
Spurkismo actually translate to fucking Skidmark?
Well,
No,
It does now.
no, he is a British flat earther who claims to be a teacher, and not just a teacher of the English language to native Russian speakers.
Oh, like Jill. Okay, cool.
Oh, even worse. Even worse.
He's an English teacher, but he thinks he could debunk science.
Actually, if you go through the videos on my channel, it's one of the first three is a long discussion that myself, Geistview, Sean Hufford, and oh god, who else was in there? Was it Pure Anarchy? I think it was Pure, who was in there, as Spurkismo was supposed to teach us why he knows the Earth is flat.
Oh, is this the one where he says that he's the instructor?
Yes, that one.
Oh, that, like,
And then
if you could just get your hands on them at that point.
oh,
Has any of them actually been able to construct a logical model that explains what we observe?
no. Well, they may be able
model.
what they started with, their history of it is they will address one part or one observation. They may be able to get that one observation to work, but as soon as you ask about the next one, it completely falls apart, and then you look further and they fuck up 10 other things. It's such an ad hoc explanation that they can only ever get it to explain one subject at a time, not everything in totality, like the standard model we actually have.
That's if they're even agreeing on a model. I mean, what have you got? You've got a flying space pizza, a magic snow globe, an infinite plane, something that's rising up through space at 9.8 meters per second squared, which by my calculations would take just under 365 days to reach the speed of light.
Yep.
That's got its own relativistic problems.
Don't forget about the thick Earth.
Yeah, the thick Earth?
Yeah, look
Right
at
here.
the screen.
Thick Earth.
Oh dear.
The thick Earth.
Oh,
Thick
right,
Earth.
yes. That was like the response to Ranty on Twitter last night.
The thick Earth. That's a different one. I haven't heard that one. Can somebody
It's a
please-
spoof on the flat earthers, is what
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Oh, I thought it might have been a fucking supportive.
No, Hollow Earth is a real thing. You got Hollow Earth, which is trying to vie for attention right now.
Hollow Earth.
Yeah,
What?
Hollow Earth. So there's the Earth is hollow. There is this tiny star inside it that heats it. There is a whole bunch of species that live under there, including giants. Hitler's there. A bunch of reptile lizard people that actually
Reptiles.
control everything and are the Illuminati.
Wait, stop. There is a fuck. Isn't there not?
There you go.
Oh my god.
That-
Seriously?
Yeah,
So there-
Have they done that?
Seriously.
Fiber Skeptics debating one of them on Non-Secretary Show tomorrow.
Oh my god.
That is
Oh,
gonna
just
be
somebody kill.
hilarious.
He
Somebody
says
fucking
he's brought his
kill
own brass bell to ding every time he wants to do an idiot count.
He would do that.
Yeah.
Why is this still a subject? Why is this still a thing?
I don't
What-
know.
What is this idea that we have to convince people that the earth is flat to confirm God?
All right.
Where did this come from?
I don't know.
There are two groups of people when it comes to the flat Earth. There are the con men like Globebusters, Jeranism, Nathan Oakley, and others who are making money off of it. So you
Yeah.
have that side of it. But for the genuine idiots, what it comes down to is I don't know, so I can't understand what they are explaining. It must be wrong. And if it's not that, it's the mentality of, well, I have this knowledge, you don't, so I'm special, and you're just a blinded sheep.
You mean
Yeah.
like
I don't understand, therefore flat.
Yeah.
You mean
It's argument.
well, I just wanted to throw this out there. This is something that Jeranism said when he was in his conversation with one of his
There's a
conversations.
link for
I don't
y'all.
know if he's been in more conversations with Aaron Roth, but he said, I know what it is, but I know what it isn't. Or I don't know. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know
don't
what it is, but I know what
but
it
I
isn't.
know what it isn't.
Yeah.
I've been
And, I was,
thinking of-
and
I've-
everybody was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've been thinking about starting a line of t-shirts that's just quotes from Jeranism, like we don't have a model, Jeranism 2017, or interesting, Jeranism 2018, things like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although now Jism cannot say they don't have a model because they have that app that their friend made.
That Wolfie and Greater Sapien both debunked in about 20 minutes.
If it even took them that long.
What are
The
you
one
eating?
that
What
has
are you
now
eating?
had, Chew reviews.
What are you eating? No, that's not what you need to eat. Fucking
It
Aw,
pit
actually
but
has
why
two.
not?
Reviews
That's a
on the
fucking pit bull. Sorry.
Oh, wait.
Fucking
Hey,
pit bull.
here's a good one. Here's a link to ships, how to determine ships' buoyancy. There's a whole lot of G's in there. Just saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love when they bring out that whole buoyancy and density argument because it's like
Yeah.
you do know we can calculate the buoyant force. Do you
Right.
mind
Which
telling me the
uses G.
variables are?
Wait,
Well, when they say that we never factor in, how often do they say we never factor in gravity?
Okay, hold on.
Fucking
What does that mean? What does
reference.
that? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I did kind of mean to interrupt a little bit. But the buoyancy? What is it? What is that?
Right. Why is it buoyant?
Well,
Why?
no, I've never heard that particular argumentation.
So
The
their argument on why things fall the way they do, what we understand is the interaction due to gravity. Instead of gravity, they explain it as buoyancy and density. Things rise because they are more buoyant than the air around them, and things fall because they are more dense than the air or other medium around them.
But what they're missing is the vector.
Yeah, the vector, which is determined because of this pesky little thing called little g.
No, it's the orthogonal.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
that
I
too.
forgot the orthogonal. I mean,
God damn it.
I've got a co-op with Godless Engineer coming up next week, and it's basically one of the arguments that I'm tackling is a guy that is saying that. And the way I explain it is that I hold up a football and I say, well, you guys say that if I let go of the football, it's going to fall due to density and buoyancy, which means that you think the air underneath is less dense, so the ball will go through it. But isn't the air above the ball also less dense and to the sides? So why when I let go of the ball does it not go up or down or to the sides or just float?
And along those lines, the large vacuum chamber that Brian Cox was a part of the demonstration that was shown on the BBC a few years ago that they absolutely hate. When it comes to the buoyancy and density argument, I've always asked them, it's like, okay, so we've taken the air out of the equation in that scenario. When they pull the release, why don't the bowling ball and feather go up closer to mass?
Right. How does it know which way to go?
Yeah. They just don't understand. And the closest answer, well, I don't say the closest answer, the only answer I really get, when I really push this issue with them, it all goes back to, well, that's because the way God made it.
Yeah. They go
So-
with the God of the gaps without calling it God all the time. They just say it has an inherent
It must be
knowledge to
because
do
of-
it.
Yeah, things want to go down because that's what they do. Is basically their answer. And
That's fucked up.
yeah. So they miss out all the variables, and the main thing that I go to also is that when it falls, it doesn't just fall, but it accelerates at a constant rate of 9.8 meters per second squared. And what does acceleration require? A force.
Yep.
You know, there has to be something making it happen.
Yeah, this is one of the things I've been in discussions with my brother, and my brother is always, he's kind of criticized me about this, and he goes, your arguments get kind of weird. And I said, no, they're not that weird. I'm just looking for specificity.
Yeah.
If you want to argue specifics, need to know the specifics. If you don't know the specifics, I'm just going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's been
So
pretty much.
I just posted a link to the Field Manual 3, TAC 22.9, Chapter 5, downrange feedback. Gravity. The force on a bullet is constant regardless of the weight, shape, or velocity.
Yep. ...
So feel free to use that.
It was written by the man.
Awesome.
Use that.
Yeah, bullet physics are awesome. They're I love bullet physics.
Yeah.
Especially trajectory. It's
They
fucking
always
sweet.
say that snipers don't
Adjust for Coriolis.
compensate for Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
I retired out of SEAL Team 2. There were a lot of those dudes walking around me that routinely shot people in the face from a long way away. Yeah, they did compensate for the Coriolis effect.
Exactly.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There were so many things that they have to compensate for.
Well,
Not just Coriolis, but also environmental conditions too.
yeah,
I don't know. The
but the
equations, these dudes had to be good at math. Like,
On the fly math as well.
yeah, and if need be, I could probably get one to come on, maybe, if he would even entertain the idea.
I've got an upcoming episode of explaining simple stuff to Flurf, which is about the Coriolis effect, so that would probably be helpful.
so explain
yeah,
to me.
but you're asking a dude to like come on and like talk about some bullshit when he.
How does the Coriolis effect actually come into play with the trajectory of a bullet?
Well, it's the fact that the Earth has moved
Because it's
slightly.
going so fast
bullet has
over
been
a significant distance. Not a significant distance, but a significant distance in relation to its speed.
It's it's down to time of flight more than anything else.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
oh,
with
okay.
relation to
The thing is that
distance.
when
Yeah.
I'm shooting out to 1,000 yards, I tend not to worry too much about Coriolis effect, because in the second and 3/4, it's going to take a 30 caliber bullet to get 1,000 yards. I'm more worried about the wind effects, because they're going to be probably 10 times more, 10
Yeah.
times bigger.
Yeah, but
And
one
mostly
thing
only
you-
if you're shooting north-south or south-north. If you're
Well,
shooting
actually-
east-west, then it's insignificant.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
most of the ranges, in fact, the range I shoot on most of the time at 1,000 yards runs north-south.
Oh, okay,
Right.
that makes sense, because that was
And
one
bravo
of the
to
things.
you, because I've never even really shot 1,000 yards, and I'm a shooter. So
Yeah,
Yeah, the longest I've ever
Oh,
shot is
yeah.
300 plus 300
I-
meters.
I tend to,
Three or 4,500 yards is about all I ever shoot.
when I go shoot my centerfire rifles, I go down to Bisley, and I always try and make sure I can get on 1,000 yard range down there.
That's a hell of a long shot.
Because if I'm going to do a 400-mile round trip to the range, and it costs essentially the same to shoot at 1,000 yards as it does to shoot at 300.
Wait,
I'm going to shoot at 1,000 yards.
cost? If you do it right, you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah,
I can't. I
it
don't.
used to be really, really cheap to do this when I was in the RAF, because sport.
Oh, you were
even the sports side of it. Even the sports side of it was heavily subsidised.
But it wasn't sponsored in any way.
Well, yeah, there was all the shooting one would do while on duty is obviously free,
Yeah, well,
and shooting for a sport was heavily subsidised by the RAF. So I could. It was quite good, because I could go down to Bisley for a weekend shooting, and my duty travel claim would cover the cost of all the fuel, and it would cover all my costs for the shooting for the weekend, because it was subsidised, or it would cover the bar bill.
Well, there you go.
fuel.
Yeah, I was
Reason
talking
nine.
to a young kid that worked shortly before I retired. He had just won an award. He was one of the top snipers, young E5 Navy SEAL. And I'm like, hey man, that's some kick-ass, shooting you were doing. And he was like, well, you just put the crosshairs over it, squeeze the trigger,
Yeah,
like, damn well. I wanted to say to you, damn well there's more to it than that. Like,
Actually, I was actually one of those shooters. I could just literally Kentucky windage it. Like
Yeah.
the furthest I could actually, when I was in the Army and they introduced the aim points, the CC, what they call closed combat optics.
right.
When they introduced those, they didn't have they had just a red dot inside
Red
that
dot sights.
scope.
Yeah, I love red dot sights.
Yep. And
I love Kentucky windage too, but that's not what's happening when you're shooting 1,200 yards.
No, that takes a lot more. Yeah, that takes a little bit more
The
precision.
name for the Night Ghost for the G3 machine gun is way cooler than that, though. It's called the Nazi, as in Nazi. Night sight.
I want to join the Space Force.
You want to join the Space Force?
That,
Oh, yeah.
Why?
that would be fun.
Well, who wouldn't want to join a Space Force, man? As long as
You know,
the uniforms are exactly the same as Zach Brannigan from Futurama.
You know, whenever anyone brings up Space Force, I automatically get the image of Moonraker.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
can
no,
see
no,
that.
no. It's pew 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 pew.
And that brilliant
Ooh,
fucking soundtrack
the
from
missile
John
map.
Barry. Ba, 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 ba.
In honor of our esteemed guest from the UK Royal Navy, I chose the Vanguard class submarine.
Very good.
The
Vanguard.
Vanguard class. What's the Vanguard class submarine?
Vanguard.
V class.
They're like the Ohio class for the U.S. Navy, the ballistic missile submarine.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Ohio class is. I wasn't Navy. I was
It's
Army.
the big missile
They carry
platform.
the big
Oh,
boomy.
it's the big missile boats. Oh, okay. So
Boomers.
what's a Dallas class? Or is there a Dallas?
The class that the Dallas was a part of is the
Dallas was
688.
a fast attack,
Yeah,
right?
fast
Los
attack, the Los
Angeles.
Angeles class.
Yeah, Los
Which-
Angeles class.
which-
Yeah.
It's
the hunter killer.
hang on, it's really funny you mentioned that boat specifically though, Jay, because
Well, I'm a Clancy fan.
Well,
I'm a Clancy movie fan.
and
so.
right after principal filming was completed on board the actual USS Dallas, my dad transferred aboard that boat.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, a little bit of history happening here.
Oh, yeah, bling bling, chili chili. Yeah, I've always wondered about that, what the classes meant, because I mean, I'd seen it in movies and stuff, but I don't know what that actually means. What they mean by Los Angeles class or
The first
these
ship
particular-
in
Yeah.
the first ship of a new type.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, so the Dallas class. That means when they started building that type of ship,
Mhm.
the first one was called Dallas, so it was the Dallas class.
Yeah.
Same with like the T classes in the UK, the Trafalgar class. The first one was HMS Trafalgar, so all the ones of that type afterwards were T classes or Trafalgar class.
Correct. So we had all of the Nimitz class carriers because the first one was the Nimitz.
Kind of like the Russians, the Akula class.
Yeah.
Well,
Akula
when you get to the Russian naming scheme,
That's all.
it
that's all
gets
NATO.
off. Yeah, it was
Okay.
our designations for that class.
R designations. What does that mean?
NATO.
R design.
NATO.
NATO coding, like all the everything you heard, like when you even the aircraft, when you hear that it's all referred to as NATO designations, is not
Yeah.
actually what the Russians called it.
So like what we call the Akula class is not what the Russians call the Akula. What we know as the Typhoon is what the Russians actually called the Akula.
Oh,
Oh, right.
got you.
I
Got
don't
you.
know.
Okay. Okay. See, this is the thing. I was Army infantry. I don't know anything about Navy shit. I didn't swim.
Oh, you would be amazed the amount of people when I did basic training, the amount of people that had joined the Royal Navy that couldn't swim.
Mm.
Long
You know,
as-
it's
Actually, it's more useful to know how to float than it is to know how to swim.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what's interesting is my nephew. He joined the Army, and he boloed out of the Army. He got through basic training, but when he got to AIT, his knees were given out on him, so he wasn't able to complete the Army. So they kicked him out, and so he joined the Navy, and they gave him 20 attempts at the
Oof.
swim class at the
Oh,
swim
yeah.
pool,
jeez.
and he failed it
Fun.
every
'Cause they
time.
got some great instructors there.
Oh
Yeah. Because I told my sister, I said, you know, I found it interesting because I said, I watched I watched the documentary about the Navy SEALs, and there was this guy that had the same. It was a guy that was in the Navy SEALs. He'd qualified. He'd gotten through the initial qualification. He was going through it and everything, and he had to. This guy apparently had this problem, the same problem I have, of being able to regulate. He couldn't dive underwater without something sealing his nose, so he couldn't
Mm.
regulate.
yeah.
He couldn't regulate airflow, so he couldn't block his nose from, taking in water. And they actually spent like 5 hours with this guy in a bathtub to teach him how to do this. And I was just like, now this is interesting, because I didn't think they were ever that fair. You know, I figured that they would just be like, oh yeah, you fucked up. You can't fucking can't fucking go underwater without a mask.
These guys are hard to come by. Like someone who can make it through 99% of it, that 1% they're going to work for.
They'll give you every chance. And what's actually funny, you mentioned the quality of the instructors at the pool for basic training is kind of funny. I kicked one in the face.
You kicked one?
So, all right. So I'll admit, when you do the initial test and you do the drop in and then you do the different strokes down the pool and you're not supposed to touch the bottom as you get towards the end. Well, I purposely kicked the bottom of the pool just so I could spend more time in the water. So one of the first things they have you do after as part of the remedial training is working on the dead man's float. And while doing that, while I was doing that, at the time my lower body had a noticeable amount of more muscle mass than my upper body.
No,
it was the byproduct of being a runner. So my legs would start to pull me down. And there was a SEAL instructor underneath who at some point just, I guess, kind of looked up, went to push me up, missed, but then as he brought his hand down, I felt the hand go down my calf, and I instinctively kicked and felt the heel hit his mask.
Ooh.
We finish it. We're out of the pool. He comes out and he's laughing. He's like, "Wow, I didn't think you could kick that fucking hard."
Yeah, my guard unit wanted to do this when we went to Sinai, so they had us do this swim qual thing, where you were able to jump into the water because they wanted to be able to substantiate doing waterborne training in a war zone, which is the Red Sea. And
why, Jay Brown? Why do you have to show me that?
What's that?
I want to take out Boston at the same time.
Oh, you can.
I just didn't want to do it directly.
Can you put it on Scotland around Edinburgh?
Yeah, it's like it's off the Red Sea.
So when I did this, I had to do this. So they had us set up in our BDUs, boots, everything, and set up in like a 30-pound rucksack and LBV and all that shit. And they wanted us to jump in the water, like just step off in the shallow end, not deep end, 3 feet of water. So the shallow end of this pool is 3 feet of water. I froze. That's how much my mother's hydrophobia integrated into me, because I can tread water, right? I can walk into a pool, I can acclimate to it, and I can tread water to a certain extent. But when it came to stepping into it, like jumping in, I was literally fearful of actually going head over heels, like going face first into the water.
Oh man,
it's funny because I've seen that a lot.
Well, this is like the biggest bomb ever conceived right here.
Well, I'm just at the top left of the area, so I'm totally screwed.
Let's go with something a little more reasonable here. We'll go with the Trident D5. How about that?
Real quick before you do that, I was just going back to something we were talking about earlier. The first name of ships were the name of that class. So can we start to call flat earthers Dubé types?
Dubé? Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Eric Dubé is kind of one of the main spearheads of the modern flat Earth movement. He did a thing called 200 Proofs that the Earth is flat, which is it's just comedy if you want to watch a good comedy.
Which actually no, if you are interested in the 200 proofs for the flat Earth, fuck going to his channel and his material. Go to Rhetoric and Discourse. He has systematically been going through
He is
all
dismantled,
200.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
so we call them debate. We call them debate classes, and then like each group can just be named flights. So you know.
Wait,
There you
what
go.
are
That's
his?
one place to.
Yeah, I should really look
I
this
like
up.
it. I think I'm going to refer to them as debate class. from now
200,
on.
200 proofs that the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
They're mostly like
the same. proof.
each proof is there's like 20 of them maybe, and then they just use different examples, but they call them it's each its own proof.
Yeah, R&D's been cross-referencing them all, hasn't he? With it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he goes
and
through
he's
his
been doing
videos.
a great job.
I have a question. Why is this important? The flat Earth
It's
conversation. Why?
It's
Why?
because it's dangerous.
But
It's more than just some people going about saying the Earth is flat. It is people that are teaching people to reject all of science and math and knowledge and actively ignore any outside influence or knowledge that comes their way. It is brainwashing, and it is extremely dangerous because when they get that deep into it, it can completely change the way that they think, and it can make them mistrust everyone and everything.
right.
And when people like Logan Paul,
I
come out
retract
and
my
say,
answer and substitute Fight Flat Earth's answer for mine.
Well,
if-
there is an addendum to that. There is an additional step as well, and I give full credit of this to a guy Cordis that I used to hang out with and talk with here online a lot, where Flat Earth is essentially the opening of it's the gateway intellectual drug for young Earth creationism. Because in order for Flat Earth to be possible, you have to go with a supernatural, divinely created realm.
Yeah.
Have to.
Or just I don't understand, therefore
Yeah.
fake.
And when you get people like Logan Paul coming out, who has 18.4 million subscribers, who the majority of them are easily influenced young people, saying that he is a flat earther, obviously not all 18 million of them are going to go, yeah, that's right. But a hell of a lot of them are going to go, well, Logan Paul can't be wrong. I love Logan Paul. And they're going to then start thinking that the earth is flat. And then that's going to make them reject science. And it's just going to ruin their entire lives.
Yeah, it is a huge step towards not just scientific, but intellectual regressivism.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get a lot of people commenting on my videos saying, "Oh, why are you even bothering? It's not important." But I completely disagree. The fact that my son came home from school because someone thought it was appropriate, an adult thought it was appropriate to go and tell him that he's stupid because you're flat. But that kind of aggressiveness just needs to be tackled and got rid of. I make a lot of jokes and stuff in my videos, and yeah, but there's a serious message behind it that this flat Earth stuff is fucking dangerous. It's a cult. It's like scientism. That's not scientism. Scientology. Sorry. It's dangerous, and I absolutely hate it. Sorry, that's my rant.
A so-called gateway scientism drug.
Yeah.
It's a gateway stupidity.
Yeah, absolutely. But has anyone ever counted the actual so-called proofs that Eric Dubay has put forth in his 200 proofs?
If I remember right, I was going to say, if I remember right, it's in the 15 to 25 range of actual individual differences.
Some of them are iffy, as if they can be counted as the same thing. I tried to watch all 200, but I don't need penance. So
it's a lot of repetition.
So many of them are just duplets or copies of the.
I'm gonna rephrase the statement and post it as a new reason.
Yeah, or change the location, but keep the argument otherwise exactly the same.
I heard someone give me the argument that it's similar to the Bible in the way that a lot of the books of the Bible are just retelling the same things from different perspectives.
That is a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Debay, I think he wants people to. He would be a cult leader. Look at the guy. He is just like the ideal cult leader.
Would be, or would you say is?
I think it's very close to being is with the way that his followers act. You know, if he told people to come and sit with him in a mountain and drink some poison, I think a bunch of them would do it.
You know, and some people may disagree with this, but when it comes to people who are gullible enough to fall for something like that, part of me wants to say, let them. It kind of culled the herd of some of the less intellectually viable.
Yeah, but they're spreading it. If they want to think that and keep it to themselves, I won't give a fuck. But it's when they're trying to spread it. And in the UK, there is currently 4 court cases going through that are trying to get flat Earth stuff put into the curriculum at schools.
Oh shit!
And just
Really?
yeah, and there's similar things going on in America. There's one woman he keeps going to like meetings, like school governor meetings and stuff, and like trying to force them to have flat Earth put into the schools and stuff. You know, they want to push this into actual education.
As in additional teachings, or
No, as in they want flat Earth taught as fact, and they want heliocentric removed.
oh come on!
Yeah.
How much traction are they getting?
None.
Oh,
You know,
good.
only the kind of traction that people are laughing at them and reporting it. It's obviously not going to be taken serious at any point, but it's the fact that they're going to all the effort of like trying to do this because they are that brainwashed that they think it should be a legal requirement.
Uh-huh.
That scares me. People think I'm silly, but it genuinely scares me.
Oh yeah. I mean, at least it's not as bad as what is it, the state of Ohio, where they have the what is it? The oh crap. The the bill. What is it? The 268 bill, where they're trying to get 268. Yeah, the high. What is it? The high 268. I can't remember exactly. The 268 bill, where they're trying to make abortion past the 6th week of conception illegal, to the point of actually calling it murder.
Oh wow!
And enabling making it possible to both charge the woman and the doctors, nurses, etc., involved in the abortion of a child or a pregnancy past the 6th.
Hold on, Bill. I got what you're talking about here.
Yeah, possible to, in the worst case possible, murder for the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, you could charge the woman being, getting a divorce. No, sorry, getting a
Abortion.
what do you call it? Yeah, an
So
abortion.
If this woman gets raped
charge
and doesn't know that she's pregnant for 8 weeks, then she has to live
6
with that.
weeks.
Oh,
6 weeks.
yeah, 6 weeks even worse. So she has to get that. She doesn't realize she's pregnant, and then she finds out she is, and now she has to live with not only the fact that she's been raped and there's a child there, but then she has to raise that child that is from someone that has raped her, and that's not going to be good for the child in any way.
No.
These guys, they don't take what they're not looking at everything. I mean,
Well,
Exactly.
They're looking through a prism.
I mean, the worst part is exactly that. That they
Whoa, Schrodinger.
What?
A lot of static from you.
My bad. Hold on.
was that me? No.
No, it was Schrodinger's cat. He, I
Get
guess,
back in the box.
yep, got to get back in the box.
Yeah. One of the most heinous issues about this bill, I'm trying to find it because I sent a message to the Danish, one of the Danish news agencies about it
Is that
last
better?
night.
I'm still jacked up.
Better for now. We'll see how long it stays.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to House Bill 258, or the so-called Heartbeat Bill, The way
that
to define, a person is as long as it has breath, it is life. It's a living person. In other words, when it's about when a fetus is about 6 weeks old, it is to be defined as a person, and by that so-called logic, if you have an abortion after 6 weeks after the conception, you are
Committing murder.
potentially subject to being accused of murder, which in the worst scenario is punishable by death for the mother
What?
and for the doctors and nurses and so on.
What did I miss? What did I miss? I was off for a little bit. I had to order pizza, so I was off for a little bit. But now we're on a subject. I know because I've argued this subject before. He's talking about abortion, so this is great.
Yeah.
See, and that is the beautiful thing about this channel and this show is we natural flowing conversations.
Yeah, that's great. I just wanted to know where we were at in the conversation because
Ohio is passing a bill that would restrict abortions to basically once the baby's heartbeat starts, which is roughly around the 6 weeks of pregnancy.
Why? So a mother could get charged with murder for getting aborted, and then the charge for that would be death.
Wait,
does Ohio have capital punishment like that?
No, I'm pretty sure that has zero chance of viability as far as the bill.
Well, according to the article that I've posted in our internal chat here, is that on what day was it? So a week, 2 weeks ago, yesterday, the bill was approved in their House part of their legislature by a vote of 60 to 35.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
It's conservative Christians.
60 to 35 what? 60 to 35 what?
Votes.
To approve the bill. Votes to approve the bill, yeah.
Votes in their house.
It says the measure includes no exceptions for rape or death.
Exactly.
What is the bill? What is the bill? I missed that. I'm sorry.
The bill is to determine to call abortion murder once the fetus has a detectable heartbeat.
No.
Which is around 6 weeks normally.
Yeah.
No.
It's
No.
retarded.
No.
Apparently, when asked Miss Hagan, a Republican who campaigned on behalf of President Trump, she said she was confident the bill will become law by the end of the year.
And I don't want to detract from how repugnant this bill is, but I want to just point out that it would never hold up to constitutional scrutiny in any sort of court.
You know, I'm of the. I'm just going to put this out there, and I'm going to actually promote my buddy Dudding Thomas, he's not really a huge member around here or anything, but he's one of the things. He got into a conversation with Jesus is Lord, and Jesus is Lord is a huge proponent against. He's huge against abortion. As far as he's concerned, abortion is murder. It's to him, it's the next best thing to the Holocaust. But either way, with that being said,
I actually can't read
his best response was, abortion is a woman's right. It's a woman's right.
Yep.
You're talking about something that's specific to a woman, not men, to a woman. And so for him, he just simply said, I think that abortion, the right to have an abortion or the abortion rights is specific to a woman. It's a woman's right.
But
That's
I think it's a little more complicated than that, but I don't
here's the
even
thing.
want to fight that battle.
Is a lot of people are trying to portray this as a way of getting Roe v. Wade overturned by the Supreme Court now that they have a majority of Republicans on the court.
Supreme Court, yeah.
So that's why they're hoping it'll pass, and then some liberal group will oppose it and start filing court motions in the state, and then it'll go up to the federal court systems, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, I think that is the goal. Yeah.
It says there was a similar bill passed in North Dakota in 2013 that was overturned by the Supreme Court.
Right, and that's why I think that it won't hold up to any sort of scrutiny.
Why would you deny a person the ability to fucking terminate something that's inside of them?
No, I mean, obviously, abortion shouldn't be treated as just a go-to thing. It should be a last resort. But when that choice needs to be made, then it needs to be made.
Like, there are medically viable reasons for an abortion to be a properly done procedure, and they seemingly don't give a fuck about those options.
Yeah. And that's one of the things my brother. Sorry, Jared. I didn't mean to interrupt, but one of the things my brother argued about was he said the thing about being not pro-life, but the thing about being pro-choice is that you're pro a medical option. You're not pro someone killing their baby.
No,
you're pro someone having the medical option available to them. And that's really the crux of the argument, is that it's pro understanding that this needs to be an option, that a medical option, if a woman wishes to actually take place in this particular, or wishes to have this particular thing done. That is all it is. That is all it is. And they conflate it. They can fucking say, oh, it's pro murder. No, we're not saying that, yes, they need to kill them. They need to kill these babies. They need not have them. No, they won't have that option.
I'm a guy that I had a girlfriend, and I terminated a pregnancy. What I think was probably damn near 20 years ago. So I guess I don't have shit to say about this, because we did it.
Well, but
how much different would my life be had I not done that? For better or worse, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my wife and I we've got 2 kids, and we only ever planned to have 2 kids. We know I'm disabled and I can't go and work and earn a whole bunch of money. We knew what our limits are and our means. And after our second kid, I had vasectomy and everything. It was all done properly. I didn't want anymore, but we still managed to get her pregnant when we didn't plan to. And because we knew that we couldn't give that third child a good life the same way that we would be able to with the children we got, we made the decision that it'd be better for the family as a whole to not have another child.
Yeah.
And I think that was not only a better choice for us, but a better choice for that child that could have potentially had not as good of a life as they deserved.
Well, what's interesting is my wife and I have been incapable of having a child. My wife got pregnant one time. One time, as far as we know, she was pregnant at one time, and it didn't pan out. At 8 weeks, we went in, no heartbeat. She had she expelled that shit. They asked her, "Do you want a D&C?" She said, "No, I'll just see what happens." And she was very hopeful. She was like, "Well, maybe they just didn't detect something. Maybe something was wrong. Maybe the pregnancy's fine." No, didn't happen to be that way. She expelled what it was.
And just to make sure, the D&C means do not contact, right?
No, it's a different terminology. I can't remember.
It's the medical. It's dilation and something.
Yeah.
Yeah, D&C is the medical procedure for dilation and something. But either way, she didn't decide to have that happen. A D&C is basically the same as an abortion. But either way, she didn't decide for that. She decided to just tough it out and see what would happen. I remember working at the fucking nuclear plant, and I got a call. She was in extreme pain. I had to fucking rush home, and I was on call with a fucking nurse saying, "Hey, is this normal? Is this normal? Is this normal?" And they were like, "Yep. She's just going through the natural process of expelling this particular this stillborn, this pregnancy." Yeah, exactly. So And even with that, even with us being this couple that wanted to have children, my wife still to this day is all about telling women it is okay for them to say that they don't want to be pregnant.
Mhm.
If there is a medical option, if I don't want to be pregnant, I don't need to be pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that shouldn't ever translate into to women using it as a form of contraception in a way. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I completely agree with that. But
Yep.
my overall writing thing with it is to people who want to speak against having the option is like, well, you don't like abortion? Well, then don't have one.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of women,
yeah, and the cool thing is like what you said, it isn't covered. There's a lot of medical coverage out there, but there's a lot of coverage out there that doesn't cover medical that covers abortions. So that has to be paid for by the person outright. It just has to be paid for them. So this is another issue that has to be presented. So, but whether or not abortion is wrong or right, is it a legal viability? Is it a legal option for a woman to say, I am pregnant and I wish to not be pregnant? That's it.
Yeah.
If they say, I don't want to be pregnant, they decide to have an abortion, who are we to say no?
Exactly.
It is them. It is literally them. It is them.
I mean, let's look at the other facts as well. Like, there's too many bloody people on the planet to start with. So, I mean, why would you want to force people into the world that might not have such a good life?
Exactly. I'm in complete agreement with that. Yes. Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, the worst I can't speak anymore. The worst problem that I've seen in this in this news article that I read last night is that what's connected to the House Bill of what's it called? House Bill 565. That it in its current what do you call it, formulation in the state is in the way it's portrayed right now is that it does not make any exceptions whatsoever in terms of of life-threatening pregnancy or pregnancy caused by incest or rape in terms of this bill. That's the abhorrent part of this this bill. If you search for codes.ohio.gov/orc/2919. I can't even express how abhorrent, how horrible that legislation is. I mean, it's absolutely retarded. How the hell do these people do this sort of shit?
Yeah, I don't understand how it passed 65 to 30. What the actual hell?
Yeah.
Again,
what the hell are they thinking? These assholes.
It's the community at large there, which is why they have voted Republican majority for almost everything for the last 2 or 3 decades.
Well, and it's the way that the lines are drawn. Also, it's not the majority.
And there's another way to look at it though too. How many people in a public office of the state level or higher actually read the entirety of a bill before voting on it?
Correct.
That's also true.
I want to.
If they're like Tommy Hall, they only read the abstract.
And they have the people that come to their office that say, hey, it's really important to us that you vote for this, and here's a check.
Yeah, see, I'm very much for what my friend Dotting Thomas said, was that it is a woman's right to choose. It is them. And so I don't have a problem with a woman having that option. It literally, and I enunciate this option.
Yeah.
No one. I don't think anyone here who is in agreement that abortions can happen. I don't think anyone is here saying yes, abortions need to happen.
No,
No one
I
is
said it should
no
be
one
a last
no one is
resort.
of that position. Anyone who is sensible
Actually,
is saying,
you know what? It actually gets. If I can step in here for a second, it actually
Yeah,
gets worse than that. In that, without the right for abortion, you wind up in a situation where you're going to have fetuses being aborted anyway. Only
Yep.
now it's going to be done. It's going to be done in back alleys with coat hangers.
correct.
Not
Correct.
a good.
Absolutely true.
That's not a
Absolutely.
good thing. The reason
Correct.
Roe v. Wade came up in the first place is because of exactly that kind of behavior. However, Representative Hagan in Ohio is doing this specifically for the purposes of challenging the decisions of Roe v. Wade, which unfortunately she's not likely to get.
Yes.
Even though we have a conservative Supreme Court now with the addition of Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh, on any one of a number of occasions, has made the statement that that Roe v. Wade is essentially settled law. He's very unlikely to vote for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before, that I don't think it would hold up to scrutiny.
Yeah. And this is
No,
one
it
of the
won't
things
hold up to scrutiny. It won't hold up to dick.
Yeah,
You
and
have
this
to
is
know
one
you're
of the
pregnant
things.
before you can get an abortion, and fetal heartbeats can be detected as far back as a month post conception, which would be about the 6-week mark.
Yeah,
Those little
and this
hearts,
is what I was.
those little bitty hearts, they develop really quickly.
Yeah, and this is one of the
This
things
is
that.
one of the first things they need.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I brought up to Jesus is Lord in our conversation. It's not that you're promoting that somebody actually killed, that they actually. Oh yeah, it's all about promoting this killing. So he always brings up one of the things that's interesting is he always brings up, oh yeah, it's a Holocaust. You know, the abortion thing is a Holocaust. Well, the Holocaust was a promotion. It's a promotion of killing a particular individual, the Jews or anything that was considered to be an inferior race. This is the different fact, or the different position. It's an option, not the proposition that one must do this.
Yeah, it's not a claim that you have to partake in the
Correct.
action. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
However, it
Correct.
is a proposition that you may, if you so choose.
Yeah, having
Have a little too often these days, but I'm not going to get in the middle of that particular debate.
well, a way to rephrase it to show the difference in our support of it and to further explain it is go back to the ACA, or as it was colloquially called, Obamacare. Instead of making it an option or a choice to purchase medical insurance, that law made it a requirement that you have to.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't have to. You didn't have to.
Well, or
If-
pay
you
a
did,
fine.
actually.
If you didn't, you were
You paid
penalized by
fine.
taxation.
Not.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. If the ACA had gone to the trouble of setting up their practices as is, and then left the possibility of an opt out for those who did not want, and there were a great many people like that, then the piece of legislation wouldn't be nearly as shredded as it's been since its introduction.
Indeed. And on the abortion thing, and I agree with what everyone has said, so please don't drive to my house and punch me in the face.
Yeah, it's fine.
I had a buddy years and years ago. Well, he's still my buddy, but we were we left for like a 2-month deployment, and he had just knocked this girl up, and they were going to have the baby. He was super excited. and buying baby clothes and all this,
Oh shit.
making plans. And we get back and come to find out that about 2 weeks before we got back, she had an abortion. And about 3 weeks before we got back, she was at the bars drinking. So I like I said, I agree with everything everybody said, but there's that.
Well, again, that's
that little. I don't even know what to call it.
Well, and that's where
that's-
that's where you're looking at the person and their actions and their choices, as
Yeah.
opposed to whether or not a medically viable service should or should not be available.
yes,
Absolutely.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree. But he was crushed.
Oh, no doubt.
I would be
But
rip
it's
shit
still-
on top of that.
Yeah, correct. But again, like what, and I'm going along with what Jared said. The medical option was there, and she did
Yeah.
it.
No,
So-
shouldn't be illegal, but it's what I guess if
But for
she
like,
were, it would be called a dick move.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah.
what I was gonna say.
Well, yeah, especially based on a relationship standpoint, because again, this is one of those things that have to come into place when it comes to these kind of decisions, is whether or not there's a relationship, and if one particular party, the person who was the donor, the man, and the person that aborted the particular fetus, that is a particular problem, because no one really knows. Well, no one really knows.
Well, but,
In that particular situation, all of a sudden, they're left in the dark. The woman actually took it upon herself to take something that was a conglomerate of the two of them, and boop, and said,
yeah.
Right.
"Fuck
Well,
him."
Well, I mean, on a happier note, last year I think he made like $500,000, and last I heard, she is not doing too well.
She's not doing too well.
Well,
So
that's,
so
you
is
know,
is
the-
she?
economically, she's
Oh, I
she's
can
in what we would call a trailer home, and he's in Silicon Valley.
Well, I was gonna say, is she in the first couple rows of the trailer park or way towards the back?
I don't know, but back in the day, she was a bombshell, and
Oh, she was one of those types that thought she was gonna get away on her looks forever.
and that didn't work out.
No, it never does.
And
never
she
does.
threw away what was a railroad train to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So how'd that work out for her?
Well,
Which is it's
but it's still
hold on,
her option.
I would say what is that? Orthogonal to our argument.
Wait,
I'll
wait,
work
wait,
that
wait,
in.
wait,
Like
wait,
a
wait.
headache every
But
time.
again-
Nailed it.
Wait,
But again,
Nailed
but
it.
again, but again, it goes down to her option.
Yeah.
Her
But-
option.
But I do have a question for Schrodinger's cat.
Cool.
That may be orthogonal to the subject, but what would be the tangential point from that?
Tangents
Perspective.
touch the circle.
Tangential. You just used a word that's not even available. Somebody's got to look that shit up.
Talking about Flat Out Hero, MC Toon has just submitted another entry into his challenge, which he is claiming is the winning entry.
Cool.
It uses a map that fits on the globe. And
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. What time is it over there right now?
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
4 a.m. in Germany.
So does someone have GeoStrebber's phone number to start harassing him?
Well, I have a Skype. I could find his cell phone number.
His Skype would work. Someone want to pass me a copy of that?
Come on, I bet he has signs. Oh wait, no, it's weekend. Okay, yeah, let's harass them.
See?
Who's got the wieners in the plate? Those wieners look good.
I'm hungry now.
That's a pan.
They're worst.
They're worst.
Yeah, that's either a bratwurst or a knockwurst.
I'd love.
That's going to be knockwurst. They don't make bratwurst quite that size.
Bratwurst. No.
That's what she said.
Sausage.
Oh yes. Have you ever had knockwurst before? No, I have not. Yes. You eat it and you like it.
You guys can
You
thank
don't like it. You're fucked.
you guys can thank Rhetoric and Discourse on Twitter for that one.
Oh, okay, so he may have already seen it.
Yeah.
If you ever go to a trip, get a trip to Germany or Prague or anywhere in between,
I've been there.
Go taste the local bratwurst. It's awesome.
Wait.
Brat-
Don't chase the what? Don't chase the what?
Don't chase the waterfalls. Oh wait, wrong show.
I was there and I had the pig knuckle. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, I can speak German. All right.
Is it weird that I have a Dutch hound in my lap?
Well, what I thought was funny was the first time I was in Germany. I was in Nuremberg, or not Nuremberg.
Uh-oh.
I was in Rottenburg Castle.
What is it, boy?
And I went there and I went into this shop and this woman started talking to me and she goes, "Yes," and she starts talking to me in French. And I went, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I mistake my English for French." And I went, "Oh, great." And so now I was like, I was just wondering how much this Glock. And I was like, "How much does this Glock cost?" And she goes, "The Glock?" I said, "Yeah, the pistol. The pistol in your case. How much does this fucking Glock cost?" And she goes, 300. Yeah, she said 300 Deutsch. And I was like, 300 Deutschmarks. She goes, "Yeah." I was like, Jesus. What do I have to go through to do this? You
They
know,
were euros by the time I got there.
and she explained it to me, and I was like, "No, I can't buy this gun." And she's like, "Oh yes." It was fucking hilarious. But yeah, I always got a fucking kick out of that when
What is
somebody
the euro nowadays? It was $1.16 when I was there.
Let me check.
But seriously, how can somebody mistake
Last I saw was about $1.13.
for French?
$1.13 for the euro.
Oh, so about the same.
The American dollar is
Well, we're not talking about the numbers. We're talking about the language. She thought I was talking French.
come on.
And I was like,
No.
"Nope, non parlez-vous français." And I actually had to
But-
tell her
but-
that. I actually had to tell her it's a non parlez-vous français, and she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were French."
But when you say it in that way, you're kind of lying.
Yeah.
How am I lying? How am I
It-
lying?
You are saying I don't speak French in French.
Oh, but I do. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Philosophically. Jesus Christ, Jared. Oh, you fucking asshole. Yeah, you're right.
Seriously? It's not,
Well said.
And it went off the
that's
rails.
not sushi.
Yep. Sorry about that.
You fucking sloppy dick.
Yo.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking phenomenal. Yeah,
wait,
actually,
go
I
back
like
to
that.
this
I like that.
Here
Was
we
that
go.
one? Surprise! What now? What was that?
Calm down.
Wow.
Ow.
All of a sudden, I've calmed down the entire fucking conversation.
It's
Oh
incorrect.
no, I'm sorry. I was talking to these puppies in my lap.
What? the-
I've got
No, I just got a kick out of what fucking Jared told me. And he's like, "Oh, you get what you're fucking saying." I was like, "Oh yes."
Oh. I should turn on the camera and let y'all see these asshole puppies in my lap.
Yes.
Sure.
Show the puppies.
Okay.
So the puppies.
I like puppies.
Let's see.
I have puppies.
My friend recently had a litter of 7 Labradors.
People
Well,
need to stop
that's
fucking
the
breeding
Labradors.
dogs.
Just
They
make
need to
that
stop. They
clear.
poop a lot.
Go ahead, Jared.
Oh, you're being presented to all.
These jerks.
Yeah, just don't have dogs
Oh.
anymore.
Oh.
Just don't.
Oh, what are those?
What is it?
Are those doxies?
Yeah, they're two 12-week-old dachshund puppies.
Poop.
They're
Uh,
twins.
hey, I had a feeling.
They're twins.
Oh.
What? Bite them in the face. Get it?
Wait, now.
See, now I need to get. See, now I need to. Now I'm wishing my wife was down here because she like. This would just be melting time.
Well, now, here's my question. Are they actually twins, or are they just litter mates?
Well,
I'm a twin.
I mean,
Talking
how
about
would I know?
Well, the reason why I ask is, well, I was a breeder of Labradors for a while, and in one of our litters, one out of all the litters we had, we actually did
Yeah.
have legitimate twins.
No. These are litter baits. As you can tell, because this one that I'm pointing at is 7 pounds, and this one is 4 pounds.
Oh.
And this one that's 4 pounds kicks this one's ass on a routine basis.
It's that Napoleon complex.
But this one is called Arno, that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And this one's called Ruxin, who's named after a dumbass. So Arno, who's a Nobel laureate, kicks Ruxin's ass routinely. But they are both adorable.
They are very, very cute.
Look at them. What is it, boy?
Where are you again, there, Shro?
Virginia.
Damn, too far to ship.
No. We bought these.
Oh, damn.
You bought them?
We wanted 2 boys.
Slave trader.
When my friend had his litter of 7
Slave
7
trader.
puppies, it was the first time ever I'd considered getting a dog, and the only way we could stop ourselves getting a dog was to get another cat. So now we've got 4 cats.
Oh no. He's a slave
Look at
trader.
these
My wife-
things.
My
Like
wife has been
slave
looking
trade.
for a puppy for months now.
What's there not to like about these boys?
Yeah, slave trader.
They don't get
Just as long as they don't turn into sausages, you'll be turned into sausages with little feet. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were talking about German stuff and dachshunds
Yes,
are
we
German.
can talk about German stuff, and everything about German is all about slavery and irreducible
Actually,
value.
It gets worse. I've actually seen dachshunds that are so overweight that their little feet barely touch the ground.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what you got to watch out with them because it messes up their back.
It messes with their back. What?
Well, yeah, if
When
they,
you
if
over,
they get
when you
Yeah.
overfeed those, and they get super heavy. Their skin stretches out so that they very much resemble bratwurst.
well, I was going to say,
it messes
think
with their
about
terrible.
spine.
That's
think-
a beagle.
well, no, think
That's a beagle.
think about the Slinky from Toy Story.
Yeah,
The
their
slinky
spine.
dog.
It's bad for their backs.
What is bad for the backs? What
If
is
they get
excessive
bad for
weight.
whose backs?
Think
Excessive
of a
weight.
bridge.
No,
If you-
what is bad for whose backs? Who is?
Dachshunds.
Well, dachshunds, everything is bad for everything that is a dachshund.
Are you trying to go down the hard sophist route now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I was really getting confused there.
Oh, cool. I performed my function. Cool.
Arno, bite him in the face.
That's why I'm the Joker.
Bite him in the face.
Right. Okay, Jay. Whatever.
I'm going to mail him to
Good
you,
thing, Jared.
and he's going to bite you in the face.
Speaking of Jays, Brown, you remember we have a schedule. We have an appointment on Friday. This next Friday, right?
Yes, we do. And
Uh huh. You gonna be there, Tech?
Wait, who has a fucking
What time are you doing it?
Noon.
Noon.
Wait,
Eastern.
Noon
Noon
Pacific.
Oh,
I
Pacific.
should be more clear.
who is Bun fucking talking to?
Yeah,
He's talking to me, not you, Jay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I could do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, real quick, I'm going to hop
Alright.
off.
I will get you added on Discord. We have our little room for this purpose. Just try and be available about 15 minutes early so we can get the general briefing underway.
Okay.
Before I leave, is Fight Flat Earth?
Hello.
Are you still around?
I am here. Yes.
Like, seriously, if you need anything, I think probably Jared's in a good position, and I would help if we can do anything for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, a fair number of us here have seen all the arguments. I'm pretty sure just about anybody in this room could help you out if push came to shove.
Yeah, I mean, I know pretty much all the arguments at this point. Yeah, and I've got all the bases covered, and I've not come across anything that is new or or even a model that I can scrutinize or anything.
No, hold on. Let me redirect. I meant personally.
Oh, thank
you. If myself or anybody, I think any of us would be happy to, help you out.
That means a lot. Thank you. I mean, life has been hard. So I've been pretty much injured for the past kind of 8-9 years in constant agony, but.
Yeah, I'm in a really good spot, and I think a lot of us are.
Wait. You've been in constant agony.
Yeah. Because my nature of my injuries, my left shoulder is completely destroyed, and all the nerves are completely destroyed, and my left knee is so bad that I'm possibly having my leg amputated next year. And I'm in constant chronic pain all the time, all day, every day. It never goes away.
Where do you live?
In Scotland, in Fife.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I wanted to get that out before I go. We can do something.
My wife is the best person I could ever hope for, and she stopped working so she can help me as much as possible. And
does Scotland allow for weed?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. Scotland also has, in contrast to the United States.
I wouldn't say that it allows weed, but the supply here is very, very easy, and there's stuff going through at the moment to make it accessible for medical needs.
Is it legal though for medical needs?
Not yet.
Not legal, but you can have medicinal cannabis in certain ways, but it's only just been kind of approved, and the pharmaceutical companies over here don't really have access to anything to be able to give you it. So,
but are you able to use those?
I've spoken to my doctor about the possibility of going into it, but it's a very hard process because he doesn't have access to it himself. So the only way that I can get weed myself at the moment is through my supply.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. It's not necessarily through your doctor, but are you able to actually get it? Because again, you're in Scotland, so I don't know everything about Scotland.
No, I have a very good friend. I never before, even after I left the military, I'd never smoked or anything in my life. And it was actually a doctor that I spoke to that first suggested that I should try cannabis for pain. And I'd never really, I wasn't ever against it, but it's something I'd never really considered. And my wife knew some people, and so I tried it. And the fact is that it is the only thing that will help with pain without giving me side effects that make me want to just go and sleep and ignore life.
Okay, so I should ask this: how did you try it? In what way? The substantive factor.
The first time I tried it, it was smoking some in a pipe. One of my friends had some.
Okay.
So I tried it and coughed for about 5 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a first time.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked that is because there's other ways to take cannabis, but again, you're in Scotland. So
I mean, I use CBD oil and things like that are legal over here. So I do regularly use CBD oil and stuff, tinctures, and microdose throughout the day to try and help me deal with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should actually. You know what? Let me just throw that up there. So here is my dog.
We might actually have to clip this part of this. We might actually have this part of the stream. Remember pairing.
But I do appreciate the offer of help, guys, and if I ever do require it, I would, I would come and speak to you. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean that
family of veterans.
As sincere as anything, and I don't mean a whole lot sincerely. I'm normally just being an asshole and joking, but I mean this sincerely. Look at this face. Like, how could you not look at that face?
Oh,
that's as sincere as anything gets.
Yeah, I was just going to show that's the product of CBD. That's a 2-year-old pit bull and a 14-year-old beagle. And I gave her 10 milligrams of CBD, and I gave him 10 milligrams of CBD, and they are fucking trashed.
Yeah,
they are just. Well, the cool thing about CBD isn't that it's getting them trashed, in the sense that getting them high. It's getting them level.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about CBD is being able to give them some, and they don't have to, because trust me, I've given that beagle of mine has been high, and I mean not by me, but my brother-in-law got him stoned off his fucking gourd. He took him for a day. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'd like to know what it's like to have a dog." And so I gave him to my brother-in-law, and he took him. And my brother-in-law is a heavy pot smoker, and he fucking smoked weed, and he fucking shotgunned this fucking beagle. And he fucking got just blitzed. Like, he was just stoned out of his mind. And what's funny is that the first time I gave him an edible, it was a mint. It was like a little mint. And he sat there and he took it like a champ. He just sat there on the couch and just like, it was like 2.5 milligrams of CBD, 2.5 milligrams of fucking THC. And he sat there and he just went, "Yep, I know this feeling. Yep, I got this." He just sat there just like, "Yeah,
my
cool."
round codeine treatment.
I tried CBD for my chronic pain, and oh my god, was I ill?
Really? Yeah,
you were ill.
It made me feel absolutely fucking awful. My daughter made me brownies with it.
See, that's the problem with ingesting it in that way is that it's very hard for you to decide what kind of level you're having. If you're eating something, it doesn't interact in the same way as if you're smoking it or you're using a tincture and put it under your tongue.
Well,
It's digest
was
it for your body.
Yeah,
it reacts differently.
Because I'm a very ex-smoker now, and so smoking
was what you ate high CBD, low THC, or was it just a high marijuana, whatever?
It was high CBD, high, basically zero high CBD, low, very very low THC.
Well, hang on. The THC is what's make you stoned. So what's the CBD?
Yes, CBD is a cannabidiol.
Yeah,
but the CBD is the non-psychoactive. There's different. There's CBD and there's CBD. There's different CBDs.
It's almost what allows your body to absorb the THC. It fits into the natural receptors in your brain and allows them to be more equilibrium with everything else that's going on.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a really good explanation. Yes.
Huh.
Yep. If you took something that was somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's a high CBD thing," and they gave you something that was high THC, you may react poorly.
Yeah.
You have to really know if it is the actual case that you're taking something that's high CBD. Like the stuff here in California is normally lab tested. It has to be lab tested. And so if it's lab tested, the lab testing shows that it's a certain amount of THC and a certain amount of CBD. If it's high THC, it's just fucking high THC. If it's fucking high CBD, low THC, it's that.
Like in the UK, it's actually the THC that is illegal rather than cannabis itself.
Correct.
So if you took some type of cannabis to alleviate pain, that would be primarily CBD then. I mean,
no. Well, no, not necessarily.
No, it's kind
THC. Well, THC is actually really good for alleviating pain.
Yeah.
The problem is that THC is an actual mental stimulant. So when people take too much THC, they can fucking freak the fuck out.
Yeah, THC is what makes you high rather than stoned.
Correct. Yeah. It's the psychoactive component of the actual cannabinoid of the actual plant itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is the great thing about this particular plant. One of the things that I do, one of the strains that I vape on occasion, very rarely, is Cannatonic. Cannatonic is a sativa indica hybrid. It's a 50-50 hybrid, but it's high CBD, very low THC. But it's not so low that the THC is insignificant. It's like, so imagine a concentrate where you have 300 milligrams of CBD and you have a concentrate that has 100 milligrams of THC. This is what we're talking about. So it's a 50-50. It's that 50-50 dominant or breeding that has produced this particular composition of CBD versus THC.
Yeah. If you don't like smoking and stuff, then you can actually, from companies like CBD Hope or CBD Brothers, you can buy tinctures that are where they've extracted CBD from the plant and made it instant, just kind of put underneath your tongue.
Yeah,
and it's just the extract.
Yeah, because you can actually get CBD from hemp.
Yeah,
hemp.
I was going to say, isn't it the same plant?
Yeah, the classification of hemp is to do with the concentration of THC in the plant.
Correct, because hemp is a plant that has no THC concentration. And in fact, the ACDC strain of marijuana is considered to be hemp, even though it can actually have concentrations of THC in it. Its concentrations of CBD are so high, and its concentrations of THC are so low, it's considered hemp. But it's not always, depending on how it's bred, not necessarily hemp.
Well, how do you know how it's spread? I mean, you're not God.
Well, you literally, you're not God, but you're literally taking it on the manufacturer's recommendation that, yes, I have this particular substance. This has been lab tested for this particular amount. Yeah. And this is what you're taking. That's literally what you're taking on.
But would you say that this breeding type, this selective breeding, is a type of microevolution?
It's forced evolution.
Yes, it is. Yes,
but it's
exactly.
But it's man doing it. I mean.
Oh yeah, but it is micro. Yes, but it is micro. No, dude.
Well, I'm just reminded. I'm just reminded of one of the arguments that Hovind used, or Tommy.
Tommy.
No. So Hovind said that broccoli is not evidence for evolution, but then goes on this long diatribe explaining exactly how broccoli was intentionally developed by mankind through manipulation of.
Does he know what kale is?
I don't care. I love broccoli.
It's a cruciferous, but kale was actually bred as a cruciferous. Oh my God!
well,
They're
that's a-
cruciferous plants. You breed them any way you want. Oh my God!
yeah.
These guys are stupid.
Yeah, he was
It's
saying
not-
he was saying
it's
that
not
evolution
stagnant.
isn't. He was saying evolution isn't true, and broccoli was not invented. The genetic material was already there, and then explains exactly how that genetic material
Right.
was intentionally manipulated.
Oh, no,
People. All that's
Oh.
just paper, and
It's all just paper.
I just got to get
Just
these
show me
puppies
water.
to bed.
Hey, just show me water on a spinning ball.
So
Paper.
look
You
at
see,
the
now you're
puppies.
just-
Look at the sweetness.
Yes, look at the puppies.
Yeah, now you're
And,
just
um,
now you're just getting to the, now you're just getting to the
I gotta
villain.
get out of
of
here.
water. Okay.
Fight the flat Earth. Bo and Jared both have my email. Keep in touch,
I will do. Thank you very much. Nice to be speaking.
and the rest of y'all go fuck yourself.
No, yeah, go fuck you.
Yeah, love you, Bob.
Go fuck
Later.
you.
See you later.
No, actually, what's funny is that it's interesting because he's actually he's a little bit. There's a character in Waterworld. He's like, paper. Have you ever seen paper before? It's Kim. Yeah, Kim. What's the actor's name is Kim. His first name is Kim. I can't remember his last name, but he's Kim. He's like that one guy that they pick up and he goes, "Oh yes, I got paper. Have you ever seen paper before? Paper. Yes, it's all on paper."
Hearing that, my mind is jumping between one of two things. One is Chong going, Dave's not here, man. And then the other one is the dude going, well, that's just like your opinion. Which actually, Arn Ra used that as a rebuttal to one of Kent's points in either his most recent or the previous video response.
Wow. I would like to have a conversation with some people about fucking marijuana. I would really like to actually have that.
I can tell.
Have it with some. Well. See, this is the thing. I grew up. My brother-in-law, he got like hooked on this stuff when he was like 19, and he's roughly my age, and we're 41 now. And it was kind of funny because he was like, we're like 20 years old. He got hooked on this stuff. He got hooked on marijuana. He's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta try this stuff, man. This stuff's great."
It's good.
And I was just like, no, don't care for it because it just made me fucking cough. And he was like, "Oh no, dude, you gotta get past the cough, man. You gotta get past the cough." And I was like, "No, just don't care to. Just don't care to." And it wasn't until later on in life that, like now, I'm like, yeah, I started looking into the research and started looking into some of the things that are out there. I was like, yeah, this stuff, you know, especially being here in California, it's like, yeah, this stuff's pretty randy, you know, right? It's like kind of cool.
Kind of hard to avoid it in that area.
Exactly. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I should, you know, and at the time we moved out here, I was like, I'll get my medical. I was like, fuck it. I'll get my medical because at the time when we moved out here, I you know, recreational hadn't been legalized yet. So I was like, yeah, I'll get my medical. And that way I can at least get CBD for the dogs. Because CBD is awesome. It calms the dogs right down. And so I got the recommendation, and it was ridiculous. If you guys ever want to know the most ridiculous measure for getting approved for a medical recommendation, I went online, I paid $30, and they called me. A doctor's office in Los Angeles called me and said, "Why do you want this?" And I said, "I'm a veteran." And they said, "Oh, you're a veteran? Do you have PTSD?" I said, "Nope." "I don't think so." Well, I said, "Well, I don't know if I do or not." I said, "I just wanted to help treat. I have been diagnosed in the past with anxiety and depression." And the guy said, "Yep, good to go."
Yeah.
So he sent me a fucking PDF form. The PDF form had a barcode on it, I was able to go down to a dispensary in Vallejo and show them the fucking form on my phone. Able to go in and buy marijuana.
God,
This
love
is before-
technology.
Yeah. I was able to do that, and there was I was not a medical marijuana carrier. That is a different criteria in California. There is a difference in that in California. If you are a medical provider, you can actually go for like 8 ounces. You can actually carry 8 ounces on you. But if you are at the time, I don't know what it is now, but because, like I said, laws changed. But at the time, for me, an ounce. If I could have literally an ounce on me in my car.
Does anyone else have the urge to go? Whoop, 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 whoop?
It's tough with the PTSD thing. I mean, it took me over 10 years to accept the fact that I do have PTSD. I mean, and to be honest, it's Jared's fault that I.
It's Jared's fault. Oh my God! He just came out and accused you, Jared.
But in a good way. Jared's fault. The reason Jared is the main reason. The hangout here is the main reason that I finally accepted that I do have PTSD. So, I mean, just to be, blatantly honest, it's hard to admit that kind of thing, especially for a so-called man. I mean,
So speaking amongst veterans here, do you think that it's justified? Do you think it's justified that if someone's been hazed, that they have PTSD, even if they've never been in combat? If someone's been hazed in the military,
Depends how bad it was and if it was like a constant thing. And
if you were told to stand in a corner for 12 hours,
No. It has to be repeated actions.
The way I look at it, like the one-off things, like going through the shellback initiation for us Navy personnel.
Okay.
That would classify as hazing, but it's a one-off thing, and I don't see it being there. My understanding and the way I view it is hazing can attribute to it, but just that it has to be that consistent, repetitive nature to it.
okay, and then the next day somebody says, if you fall out of this run, they're going to kick your ass.
one more time.
If the next day, if you fall out of this run again, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Again, happen enough times to where it actually does have a marked effect on your psyche, then yeah. But
For
that
2 years.
yeah, that would be a prolonged amount of time to where if it gives you some measure of psychosis, then yeah, you don't have to be in combat to have that same effect.
Okay, yeah, because the reason I bring this up is because my wife insists that I have PTSD. I don't think I do.
Well, to be honest, it's
but I've been through those situations.
yourself to be unbiased enough to realize that you have it or not. I mean, I was in denial, to be honest.
Well, I wasn't in denial of it. My wife just seemed to assume that I had it because I had been hazed.
Jay, what you're describing sounds much more like what one would call bullying, because it's going on for a long period of time. It's not something you do to the new guy for a day or two, and then it's fine. The new guy is now a member of the group. What you're describing of going on for years is bullying, and yes, that will quite definitely be something that can give you PTSD. Before the UK went, before everything kicked off with Gulf War II and then Afghan and Iraq, the largest group of PTSD sufferers in the UK and probably in most countries were children, were the survivors of child abuse.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is, abuse does not have to be physical, and mental abuse will give the end result of what matches what is known as PTSD. It's that psychological change as a result to repeated stimuli. And where it gets interesting, you can have PTSD from a single event, but it has to be a significant event to cause that sort of psychological change. I've actually been watching a Canadian TV show that's been getting uploaded to YouTube a few days after it airs, called Canada's Worst Driver. And one of the candidates on that show, 13 years ago, as a pedestrian, was hit by a car. And she has full-on panic attacks when she's driving in certain situations. You would say that she has PTSD from that single traumatic event, but she damn near got fucking run over.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my daughter's mother was not a very nice person. And just taking a deep breath sometimes, if I take a deep breath sometimes, that can be enough to give her a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. There's no cookie cutter cause of PTSD. It really is, what does the event or string of events have on the subject? That's the determining factor from my understanding.
Yeah, it's different from person to person.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I was lucky. I was never deployed anywhere nasty or had anybody shooting at me. I just managed to get 2 prolapsed lumbar vertebrae, which is...
Okay. So, to lighten the mood a little bit, we're going to go ahead and promote something on this channel that... Actually, Craig, you're still here. Have you made your advertisement video yet?
Not yet, no. I was my son's birthday took priority over the past year or two.
No, understandable. I just remember...
I plan to get to it tomorrow.
Okay. So, for those who are wondering, and those of you who for some reason were not watching Red's Rhetoric's most recent live stream, in lieu of the flurfers who have decided to be belligerent assholes to people wearing the NASA logo in any way, shape, or form, we are organizing International Baller Day.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, where any and all NASA, SpaceX, JAXA, ESA, any space-related memorabilia you have, just to piss them off.
And dare them to come up to you and tell you the Earth is flat.
Yeah. In addition to that, I asked Creator Sapien on Twitter if he would be in on it, and he said yes.
Slyman Dan is as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So who do we need more than that? Who else was there?
So we got Sapien, Simon, Dan. Oh, did someone get the message to Conspiracy Cats?
Yeah, I'm talking to him. He's in on it. Goddess Engineer as well. Young Blue Skeptic. Planar Walk. A couple others as well. Who was on the chat I was on?
It's a long shot, but CHL?
No, he hasn't responded to any of my messages. I haven't got a direct contact with him yet.
Yeah, the thing with CHL is he does material so infrequently because of his regular job that I wouldn't be surprised if he misses it.
Yeah.
Oh, Martimer. I should ask him.
CHL.
Who, Martimer?
I should ask Martimer, yeah.
What about Wolfie? Wolfie be in for it, right?
Oh yeah, let's get a message to Wolfie, Dazza the cameraman. Actually, I'm in Dazza's Facebook group. I'll message him after the show.
I've got contact with Wolfie. I'll message him now.
Oh, you guys are all on it right now.
Yeah. A bit of a shameless plug. My channel's just hit 1,300 subscribers.
Oh,
Nice.
I've hit a whole 20.
That's like what 1,297 more than 80 more, 1,980 more than I have.
I mean, thanks to people like you guys and Reds and Simon Dan and that who've all been helping me. You know, I've been out here for 2 weeks and I never expected that to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an interview of an ex-flat earther has got about 12,000 views now.
Really?
Yeah. And Simon Dan's promoting that on his show on Tuesday.
Well, subscribers doesn't mean anything. It's the view count. That makes the difference.
Yeah, they seem quite good. I've got a retention of about 75% in my videos.
Nice. Well, and length of the video does play into that as well. If you I know my retention is low simply because the majority of my stuff are live hangouts like this that go for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Jared, most of your shit's crap.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
I think this people watch it bit by bit,
That's
and
from personal
it
experience.
doesn't count it as a whole one because they're watching it like bit by bit. I mean, when I started watching like Red and Debates on Non Sequitur show, I'd probably do it when I was cooking dinner or something, you know, for 40 minutes and stick it on the side and then go back to it later. And because I haven't watched the whole thing in one go, YouTube doesn't see that as retention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Jared's post, and I just had to give him fucking shit.
Yeah.
I just watched the 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
That helped.
Psystrike, yes, that shirt does count. And it's funny you mentioned that because Schrodinger's cat, who was in here before, actually had gotten that logo and worked it into an offering when he was trolling at work.
Oh, don't forget Alan's shirt idea as well.
Oh,
Yes.
What was that now?
I am considering a tattoo for International Borders Day.
Well, speaking of tattoos for that, in the live chat, one of our veteran friends have floated the idea of getting. Wait, you wished. Was it the NASA logo or the SpaceX logo tattooed on his manhood?
Oh.
No. On his manhood?
Painful. Painful. Okay.
SpaceX depends on the size of his manhood. What's the font size?
Oh, do you think he's gonna be able to get like maybe a picture of the big fucking
Wait. Font size is going to be in 6-point Times New Roman.
3.6.
So we can not see a 12.
All I can think of now is down Periscope.
Yep.
What do you have? Yeah, exactly.
That one now.
God damn it! Don't think like that. I want someone who thinks like a pirate. Someone with a tattoo on their dick.
God.
That's a good fucking movie.
Right, man.
Could you imagine being that tattooist? Hi,
no.
welcome. How can I help you? Yeah, I'd like you to tattoo my dick, please.
No, Jay, that is not just a movie. It is a documentary.
I know it is.
What is that? Down Periscope?
Down Periscope.
Really?
Well, except I guess.
I see. The thing is I always like the Hunt for Red October, like from reading the John Clancy books and watching the movies, and I was like, oh man, I joined the wrong fucking armed services. These Navy guys got it going on, you know? It was like, fuck yeah, these guys are cool.
I got a question for you, Jay.
Here I was, just fucking stupid. I joined the Army Infantry. I was a moron.
I got a question for you, Jay. Do you like
Yeah,
Crimson Tide?
Crimson. Oh yes, I do. It's bullshit, but it's.
Boot him. Kick him out of here now. He does not belong in here. Get his ass out of here.
I just fucking justified what I said. It's a good movie, but it's bullshit.
It's not a good movie at all. It's bullshit altogether.
Oh come on!
I
It's a
served
good
on
movie.
I served on an Ohio class submarine. It's bullshit.
Oh, you're just jealous.
Yeah, but for anybody who doesn't know, like me, I'm a stupid infantryman. I don't fucking know that shit. It's entertaining as fuck. The Lipperzahner Stallion fucking debate, that's fucking awesome. All Lipperzahners are fucking they're born black. Yeah, who knew that?
Now I got to tell you though that the Crimson Tide is a very good movie to MST3K. So
Yes,
Yes,
okay, I can give you
yes.
that one.
See, that's the thing. There
Come
are some
on.
there are some
Come
movies that
on.
you just have to mock. And actually, there was a movie that unfortunately I paid to go see shortly after it came out.
What's that?
I had to turn it into a live action MST3K just to get through it.
What's that?
We should do that one night on here.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?
The Others.
The others.
The Nicole Kidman movie where it was her
Jesus Christ! That's a fucking horrible fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
It's not even scary. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the Navy. We're talking about.
Well, no, just in general. That's the thing. I went out to see that movie with a few friends, and
okay, so you opened up the gamut to all fucking horror movies. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. yeah. No, I'm sorry. Just getting ready.
If Das Boot is a realistic movie.
Das Boot. I've never
wait.
seen Das Boot, but I've heard it's good.
Hang on. The original
Das
German.
Boot.
The original
Das
German one.
Yeah,
Well,
with Das
of course.
Boot.
Everybody knows German, right?
Yeah, with Jürgen Prochnow. Jürgen Prochnow is the main star of Das Boot. I know Jürgen Prochnow.
Oh, hold on just a second.
Well,
I've got something.
The reason why I asked is because there was an American remake using the same name, and the remake was garbage.
The remake of what? Das Boot?
Das Boot.
The
Come
boot?
on, it's not about boots. Okay, you sound like a Canadian right now. It's called Das Boot. It's there's O's in there.
It's Das Boot. It's Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Das Boot.
There's no
It's Das Boot. I thought it was Das Boot.
Es ist eine Unterwasserboot. Es ist nicht so schwer.
Oh, like British. Bend over.
No, Ben.
British.
No.
Yes, I am familiar with Rammstein. Rammstein is a good
Rammstein. Rammstein.
British.
No, Rammstein.
Yeah,
Another
I can't roll my R's. Fuck it.
Just say Rammstein. That would be no.
Yeah. I always liked Du hast.
Yeah.
Du hast mich gefreut. Du hast mich gefreut. Du hast mich gefreut.
But no, seriously.
I can't even remember the rest of it, but yeah.
Das Boot, is that a realistic movie though? That's one of the things I would love to know. In terms
You know
of
what I think is a realistic movie? Fucking The Abyss. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you never know. You never know what's hiding down there.
Hey, The Abyss is a great movie.
it's a great movie, but the first what do you call it? Heart lung rescue part of it, as we call it in Denmark. The
Heart lung.
The amniotic fluid thing.
No,
Oh yeah.
The first aid part where you pump.
Oh, that okay.
Oh, will you pump what? Wait.
No, the first aid. You come to a unconscious person, not breathing, and you pump the life into it, so to speak. That part of it, where what's his called? What is he called? Ed, I think it is. Where he pumps. He just pumps the fuck out of his former wife or
His ex-wife. Yes.
Ex-wife.
Out of my chair.
Eventually gets her back around. That part is so unrealistic. But that's just
Oh, where he's performing the CPR. That's not quite CPR.
I have never seen CPR displayed correctly on screen.
No, I mean to be geeky. It is a hard thing to portray in a movie or a TV series.
Worst movie ever. Okay, what is this? Customer review of. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, I want you to see the first comment on here. Hold on. 8 months ago.
This review has been a running joke on subsim.com for 5 years now. Have no idea how it ended up as a top customer review. But at least it's back to entertain a new generation.
Wait.
What movie?
It's Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Come on, guys. That's
We do it just to mess with
That's
you.
not smooth.
Yeah, at this point,
got
we
your-
are
it's
doing it
got-
just to mess with you, Bo.
It's got Jürgen Prochnow in it. It can't be bad if it's got Jürgen Prochnow. He was the main bad guy in fucking. He's the main bad guy in what's that movie with Jet Li?
now, what's his name again? You said
Jürgen Prochnow.
Jürgen.
Jürgen
He's
Prochnow.
a bad guy in in lots of movies, isn't he?
Jürgen.
Yes.
Classic
Yeah.
German bad guy.
Yeah, Jurgen is typecast as a bad guy, just like Sean Bean is typecast as a guy to die.
Yeah.
No,
Right, guys,
not necessarily.
Name a
It's-
movie where Sean Bean hasn't died.
Easy. The Martian.
Oh.
He was in that one?
Yes.
What was that? Fight the fact.
You didn't think I knew that, did ya?
I remember watching the movie. I don't remember seeing him in it.
Sean Bean.
Neither do I.
Yes, he is the commander. He is the controller, the control chief.
Hey guys, I'm just saying it's nearly 4 a.m. for me now. I'm gonna have to go and go to sleep. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Been a pleasure talking to you too.
Not a problem. Same time next week. So,
I will do my best to be here. I'll speak to you guys later.
all right,
Craig.
take care, Craig.
Bye.
Fight the Earth.
Sure,
when
In the morning.
Yeah.
God damn, he's a fucking
right.
hardcore motherfucker.
you wake up, then.
Yeah,
Speak
but
to
see,
you.
you thought you could fucking trick me with that shit, Jared. You're wrong.
Well, I was
I have the fucking
all-
Martian.
all
I
the
own
all
it.
the movies that Sean Bean has been in. I remember him being as one of the lead characters, and he dies.
Nope, and he didn't die in Bravo 25 or Bravo 90 or whatever that movie is, about the British SAS who went into they went in to cut the cords or cut the wires to the scuds, and yeah, he didn't die in that one either. He ate a lot of poop. He ate a lot of shit in that movie. Literally, they had him eating poop.
Here's her
Bravo
last.
two-
This is the original poster's review. This is her last post about it. Yeah, it goes on for quite a while.
Oh damn!
Well, at least it's not one of the no-brainer reviews. Just there's lots of explosions and stuff. I liked it. You know, I mean, they actually made an effort. That one.
So let's run down this list. The Field died. Patriot Games died. GoldenEye died. Come on, Paige, scroll down. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring died. Equilibrium died. And on to page 2. Henry VIII died. The Island died. The Hitcher died. Black Death died. Game of Thrones died.
Who doesn't die in Game of Thrones?
Well, it's more the fact that all of these
He didn't
movies.
die in the Sharp series. That's the one thing he didn't die in.
But the running joke around, especially the media types for Hollywood, is if you have a male character that you want the death to be done right on screen, hire Sean Bean.
No.
Oh,
No.
I got
His-
another one he didn't die in.
His characters have died the most frequently in movies.
Nope. I would say that that's not actually the fucking case. I would say that's not actually the case.
Sean Bean didn't die in National Treasure.
Nope.
He was
he
arrested
didn't.
at the end.
Oh, yes. You're right. National Treasure. He didn't die in that either. You're right.
You nerds.
Says the guy that's a ham radio operator.
Well, yeah, of course you want to play with, high voltages and
There.
stuff. How could
I'm
that
just
be
fucking
Yeah,
talking
but-
to myself.
nerd just for?
Oh, I'm sure they're just looking it up on the internet. Google is your friend after all.
Who?
No, I watched that movie just a little while ago.
I think he dies at the. No, I don't.
So I just looked it up by number of roles where the character has died.
Oh my god!
There are only 3 that outrank him, and guess what? All 3 have in common.
They were all red shirts on Star Trek: The Original Series.
What?
No,
The red shirts.
Sorry, I had to get that in there.
So you'll notice a trend when you hear the names: Vincent Price,
Yep.
Bella Lugosi, John Hurt.
For people who've died.
The characters that have died.
Most characters who have died on film.
Really?
John Hurt has the most.
John Hurt or Hurt?
Hurt. H-U-R-T.
Okay, so that would be the. Oh.
Think about people with ridiculously long careers.
John Hurt, really? The guy that played
The War Doctor.
No. Are
And
you
also-
talking about John Hurt? You're talking about John Hurt in the Harry Potter movies. The
Yeah.
Ollivander.
Ollivander. Yeah, the wizard.
He was also
The-
the android in Alien, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, him.
Well, he didn't really die, did he?
Yeah,
Oh yes, he did.
Yeah, no, almost a year ago.
2 years ago, almost actually.
Well,
2
I'm
years
talking
ago,
about
yeah.
reality.
Lived just up the coast from me.
But yeah.
Really?
So
But
he has had the most characters die on film, followed by Bella Lugosi and Vincent Price. And then fourth, the only one still alive, the actual actor still alive, Sean Bean.
Really?
Yep.
He's had the most characters die on screen.
John Hurt is at 44 characters dead on screen, Bella Lugosi at 36, Vincent Price at 34, and Sean Bean at 25.
All right, so hold on.
Damn.
John,
On screen. So, but the thing is, TV or theater? Because I know on TV, one of the things that counts against him is the whole.
So
Jesus Christ.
So we are talking sound stage. We are talking to film, be it TV or movie, not theatrical stage.
TV to TV or movie?
Yes, film.
Oh, TV or movie. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Because I was gonna say, because Game of Thrones.
25 divided by 132. So he's only died about 18.9% of the time on screen.
He's good. It's got
Now-
a good survival rate.
Now compare that to the bottom end of the scale that I pulled up of Hilary Swank, who has had 4 characters die, and she's been in how many roles?
Hilary
Doesn't matter.
Swank.
He looks good on screen.
Hilary Swank.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get Hilary Swank?
He had 4 movies or 4 things.
Hilary Swank.
4.
You're talking about the little blonde. You're talking
Oh,
about
actually,
the little
that's not a good
that was in.
comparison.
You're talking about the little blonde girl in Face Off.
So here you go. Hilary Swank was killed on screen 4 times, right?
Yep.
Out of
Who?
49 movies. Oh, just about 10%. 8.16, so 8.2%. So not that bad, I guess.
This
Yeah.
is getting complete geekdom here, guys. Complete geekdom.
So
And are you complaining?
No, I'm not complaining. I just said this is getting into complete geekdom. I didn't complain. I just said, yeah.
Don't
And
get
which you asked,
Star Trek,
are
I
you
mean,
complaining?
no.
Which, no, I'm not complaining.
nothing compared to Jared's Star Trek, which is not bad at all.
Your Star Trek ray is gonna fucking kill you. Your Star Trek ray is gonna kill you. I actually remember going to see Star Trek 4 at my local theater in my hometown of Charlotte, Michigan.
Wait,
it was lined up around the block.
Right,
it was lined up. It was literally, there was a line around the block. And when I say a block, some people say, "Wow, if you're in a city like if you're in a city like New York or Los Angeles, that's a long way." Not necessarily. It was long. It was a pretty decent line, but I still remember going to see Star Trek 4, and I still actually remember going to see Dances with Wolves. And I remember somebody throwing a fucking goddamn tobacco pouch. They threw it up in the air. It was at intermission. And the lights came on a little bit. They just kind of came on, and somebody fucking threw their fucking wad up in the air. I saw a hand go up, and next thing I know, I feel this slap on my fucking leg. They had thrown their fucking dip.
Oh, that is beautiful. And
yeah,
I will pull that number back up for you in a second.
What number? The number of dips that are fucking thrown during a movie?
No, the Bela Lugosi number.
See, I've never actually watched a movie with Bela Lugosi.
36.
Nice.
36? Okay.
Yep.
Out of 116 movies?
I wonder where
31.03.
Where does Frank Langella rank on that? Because Frank Langella played Dracula at one point in the 70s. It's kind of curious because he dies in Masters of the Universe.
I was hoping you weren't going to bring that one up.
Frank Langella?
No, Masters of the Universe.
Oh,
speaking of bad movies,
yeah, it is.
No. You do not get to call Masters of the Universe a bad movie. Nope.
All I have to say is Tom Paris.
Well, that actor is not listed on this one, but guess who is tied just behind Sean Bean?
Who?
Gary Busey and Mickey Rourke.
For being killed?
23 each.
I don't care about Mickey Rourke. Gary Busey? Yeah.
Mickey Rourke.
23 each?
Yep.
Well,
so
Gary Busey. Now, see, the thing is I'm like sitting there going, I'm not questioning. I'm not going Gary Busey. I'm going Mickey Rourke. That's like,
well, yeah, the Chinese waiter from A Christmas Story.
The Chinese waiter from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, that was Mickey Rourke.
No, it wasn't.
Or was he in? He played a very stereotypical Chinese guy in an older movie like that.
Yeah, but not in Christmas Story. No, that was an actual Asian man. I'm sorry, I've seen that movie enough times to be like, no, that wasn't.
I think in that one. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Anymore. Who has the very annoying smoke detector with a flat battery?
Me.
That's not.
We've been telling him about it for what, a week now?
No, not a week. It's only been fucking 3 to 4 days. Jesus, why do you gotta conflate things, Stuart? Stop.
You're not going nuts with that thing going beep.
You're diminishing your arguments against flat earthers when you think that you've been actually fucking telling me about something for a week. No, you have not. It has been only 3 days. 3 days.
Well, yeah, I know it's been mentioned before.
Yes, and I would agree. It is. And now I'm going to emulate Barney when I say, no, yes, you are correct when you say I have a fucking goddamn smoke detector chirping. But no, you're fucking wrong. You
Well-
have not been doing that for a week.
Well, now keep in mind that I am in college classes for the first 4 hours of my day, Monday through
I
Friday.
don't
Oh,
give a
wait, no,
I don't give a
no,
fuck.
no, wait. There is an
Uh,
addition to this. There is an addition to that. These are the hours that I worked at my actual job. Following that, the past 3 days.
Okay.
13 hours,
What's your-
14 hours, 9.5 hours, 10 hours.
What do you do? What do you do for your job? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm a field engineer making sure that threat detection equipment maintains its correct operation.
In terms of backscatter,
Really?
X-ray.
Is that- what- what's that have to
Backscatter,
do with being
X-ray, and
Ah,
like
you're one of those smart Navy guys. I don't like
Yeah.
you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Automatically, because I was infantry, and that's infantry guys. We don't like smart people. We like people who just fucking go. We just like
You do realize that all the Navy guys here are smart Navy people, right?
Like I said, I really regretted. It was after I joined. It was after I joined the Army. I really regretted my choice.
Is there any Navy guy here who wasn't in an ATF field? Okay.
An ATF, an ATF.
Advanced
Advanced
technology.
technical
field.
field.
Oh, an advanced technological field. Oh, okay, okay. I had to
Well,
ask.
I mean, I technically Fight the Flat Earth wasn't because I mean he was in the nuke program. It's slightly different than advanced tech.
No, actually, that's the same thing. They're an ATF,
I know. I was
so.
being facetious there.
I missed a whole lot, apparently. Well,
Well, look what I
apparently
found on
no.
the screen.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I got the whole grunt. I got the whole grunt experience.
Hey, at least
Oh.
you weren't in the Marines. We're not making fun of you for eating crayons, so take that.
No, no, I didn't have the balls to go into the Marines.
Because you were too smart.
No, wasn't I was too small. They had a swim quall.
You had
Nope.
to go to Paris
Nope.
to do it. No,
What?
that was- sorry. No, I was just thinking about Paris Island. Who the hell would voluntarily go to Paris Island to qualify for anything if you're American?
Well, you know what's funny is that when I was exercising to get into the Army, my brother-in-law, who had been kicked out of the Marine Corps, decided that he would take it upon himself to teach me the military ways. And I was like, and my sister, his wife, my older sister, my brother-in-law's wife, said, nope. She's like, that's not necessarily in the Army. And he of course would take me on runs, and we would run, and he would throw up, and I would keep running, and he would keep throwing up because he couldn't.
Well, hey, throwing up while running, literally while running, is just a badge
Well, that
of
was, that was the reason. That was the reason he got kicked out of the Marine Corps.
what? Come on.
He couldn't run.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But seriously, though, I mean, if you run so hard that you actually start vomiting, it just shows that you don't care and just keep running, although it makes you puke.
Here you go, Jared.
Well, I knew
Oh, I
guys
got it
that
showing.
did that. I knew guys that did that when I was at Fort Drum. But normally they threw up because they had a hangover.
Well,
See, that was their problem. They showed up to PT hungover instead of still drunk.
Exactly.
It was both.
yeah,
Clearly, they haven't learned how we do it in the Navy.
run.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's the problem. They showed up to formation drunk, and then they ran, and then they threw up, and then they were hungover. So, and then at 9:30, you actually got to see them really in their prime. I was like, oh yeah, this was great.
And
Well,
still-
I used to end my days when I was in the Army. I used to end my days with a 1.5 liter bottle of wine.
yeah, and still, it's the commander's fault for deciding to take a run Thursday morning. Well, at least in '97 when I was a conscript. It was so fucking annoying. Why?
There you go.
Well, yeah, my
that?
unit had this thing. My unit had this thing of, well, it was Thursdays, but then they changed it to Wednesdays.
Well, Wednesdays.
And it was a 4 mile. It was a 4 mile ruck march or a 5 mile ruck march. They changed it. It was a 4 mile. It was 4 mile ruck march Thursdays, and then they changed it to 5 mile ruck marches Wednesdays. And we did that every week, and you had to have at least 45 pounds on your back. So we did that.
In real weight? Hang on.
What's that?
What's that in real weight? I have to convert that.
45. No, it's just 45 pounds. You just had to have 45
real
pounds on
weight.
your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking for the kilo measurement.
20
Kilo.
almost-
Well, no, we didn't. The army doesn't measure things in kilos. They just measured it in pounds.
Well, not the the real army. We always measure
The real army. What the fuck? The real army.
metric.
Wait, Bo, how can you claim to be the real army when you guys have to rely on the U.S.?
What do you
Well-
mean rely on the U.S.?
NATO, the
Higher
EU,
budget, maybe?
the rest of the world.
They were telling us what we needed to have based on what we knew.
Hey, at least I have to be honest. I was lucky enough to avoid carrying the 70. What is it? Converted to realistic measurements. 77-pound ECM backpack in Afghanistan.
I don't even know what that is.
Electronic countermeasures. It's basically a 4-band, radio frequency.
Yeah.
4-band noise generator.
Yeah, because I knew guys that were in Ranger School or pre-Ranger that had 150-pound loads.
Yeah, but I'm
we didn't
talking
do
about
that.
the EM alone. The old one weighed about 35 kilos or 77 pounds. The new one that I was carrying weighed about 33 pounds. But then above that came the backpack.
33 pounds on top of what you were carrying for your additional load.
Yeah, that was in addition to my standard, standard of your normal backpack, water, food, ammunition, blah blah blah.
Is
Yeah.
this your story, Jay?
Is that my story?
Yeah. When you join the army to pay for college and World War III starts.
That's right. I'm not in the US.
No, I didn't join the army to go to college. I joined
just-
to be a sniper, and
I thought you would enjoy that.
I joined the army to be a sniper, and they fucking put me in as 11 X-ray, which is unassigned. And I was too stupid to fucking figure out that unassigned meant that you were infantry fucking unassigned. And I ended up fucking 11 Charlie, a fucking mortar maggot. I couldn't fucking become a sniper because I was in a shortage MOS. Because somehow or another during my ASVAB, somehow
saving
during
that
my
one.
what's that?
We're saving this one.
What's that? Well, I'm sorry. Somebody's laughing. I'll just leave it go.
Just look at the screen. Yeah, it's painful.
I can't look at this stream.
No, I don't even watch SpongeBob SquarePants. But that's
I don't like. You know what? SpongeBob can fucking suck my dick.
That's what makes this so much more fun.
No. The reason I don't like SpongeBob SquarePants is because when I was in the National Guard unit, we were in fucking Camp Atterbury, and our fucking platoon sergeant, who was a fucking insurance salesman on the side, his full-time job was an insurance salesman. He was an insurance. He was actually an insurance investigator. He was an E7, and he said, "Yeah, my kid loves SpongeBob," and so he had us fucking on our IDs while we were there on fucking Camp Atterbury. We had these ID tags. He wanted us to put fucking SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob stickers on the back of our ID tags. And we got so much fucking shit from everybody else on the goddamn unit for that shit. Wasn't even funny. Like, that's not even authorized.
Like,
Why do you have that sticker on your fucking shit?
What was the purpose of it?
He was a fucking idiot.
Well, obviously, but
Well, the American Army. I mean, come on. Of course.
Well, it's National Guard. It's not even American Army. It's fucking National Guard.
But hey, at least it's above the Army Reserves.
no, that is
No, I would say that no, National Guard is not above the reserves.
Huh?
No, these guys are fucking mooks.
the National Guard are the state level. The reserves are at least still national.
Yeah, they're national, but they're still federally recalled. The fucking National Guard is just fucking stupid. And he was all into this. My platoon sergeant was just all into this whole SpongeBob SquarePants thing. And he goes like, "Oh yeah, you guys are gonna put this sticker on the back of your tag," and we're like,
No.
"Why?"
I'm gonna send this to Schrodinger's cat.
You should.
I don't like. That's the reason why. When somebody shows me, I'm literally. I think I have PTSD, literally based on SpongeBob SquarePants, just based on what that idiot did. He was just like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to fucking adopt the idea of SpongeBob, and while you're here." I'm like,
Here you go,
"Oh my
Jared."
God, go fuck yourself."
The idea of the cartoon based on a sponge, a square sponge. Yeah, okay.
No, like I said, he liked it because his kids liked it. He liked it because his kids liked it, and
Did he
thought
still
it was
wear
cool.
diapers at that time?
He liked the fact that his kids liked it, and he looked at us as like he was like we were his kids.
Yeah, and what was the mean age of you guys? I mean, fucking hell.
The mean age, he seemed to think that most of us had never seen active duty time, which he seemed to actually assume. But most of us were in our 30s.
Had
High
he
20s.
Had he seen active duty?
Yes, he was a Marine.
So he equated active duty with.
He was a Marine that got kicked out of fucking officer training.
Okay. Okay. If you said Air Force training, I would be laughing my ass off because that's no effort at all.
No, he got kicked out of Marine. He got kicked out of Marine training.
Well, that one I don't know about, but oh, hang on, that KFC. Oh, I think I've yeah, I saw a video about that. If it's the same thing, where a group of McDonald's, Ronald McDonald's guys just chanting or whatever the hell it was.
I don't know what it is, but it's just funny.
Oh, I should try and find that one. That was fucking.
McDonald's Army takes over KFC.
Yeah, that's what I thought about my fucking experience in the National Guard. I just said, "Oh, it's funny." And then I took a year and a half off, and then I joined up again.
Oh.
And then I said, "Oh, it's funny."
Still, I can save it.
Yeah, when I joined up again, I joined up in a unit that had 11 Charlies, which are mortars, and those guys didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Especially when it came to 81s. This was the best thing. The best thing about this experience was they had me do a gunner's exam, and I told them explicitly. I was like, "I don't know the gun that you're using." And I said, "That's a 120." I said, "Which 120?" And they said, "It's the only 120." I said, "No, there's more than one. The old 120 that was in the track mount system is not the same as the 120 system that they came out with that I used in the year of 2000, which is a fucking FAMAS 120, which was a trailer mount." Yeah, it was a trip. What's that?
20 millimeter? More
120. Yeah, 120 millimeter.
Yeah. See, you do actually use millimeters. So why the hell do you use imperial for everything else? It's so stupid.
Well, they coalesce, but either way, they just kind of they go either way. But what the best thing was is that during this gunner's exam, and this was during one of my last drills at National Guard, I said, "Oh yeah, you have to qualify on this particular gun system." And I told them specifically, I said, "This will be interesting considering the fact that I've never used this particular gun system before. That gun system before." And they said, "Oh no, if you've ever used a fucking mortar system, you will be fine." And my squad leader at the time was like, "Yeah, you're gonna do this." And I sucked at it. These 120 millimeter mortars that they were using were fucking antiquated. Their sight systems were fucking junk. They did everything about them was just sloppy as shit. I didn't know how to use them. I had been in the military for 4 years. I had used 81s. The 81s that I used were just, that was just my thing. I used 81 millimeter mortar systems. And at the one time that I had actually used 120 millimeter mortar systems, they were FAMA systems. They were much more precise, much better systems. These guys were using antiquated 120 systems, and so it went on from there. And so in the process of doing my gunner's exam, I failed it. And what's even better is my squad leader told me that I needed to AG him. I needed to assist. I needed to be his assistant gunner for the exam because he wanted to prove that I could actually basically, he was trying to put me on the spot. And in the process of him using me as an assistant gunner, he failed too. So we both failed our gunner's exams. And so I felt like shit. He felt like shit. He counseled me. I got a write-up. He got a write-up. And everything went fucking balls up from there. 2 days later, they decide that they're going to cross-train. And they're going to cross-train with Charlie Company. Charlie Company doesn't use 120 millimeter mortar systems. They use 81s. So we go over there. My unit goes over there, and they start fucking training with these guys from Charlie Company. And they're using 81 millimeter mortar systems. Something that I've been familiar with. Something that I was trained on for a long time. And so I get up there and I start to fucking train on it. And they start giving me problems. Literally, guns up, this declination, this elevation. They start giving me these particular problems, and I go with it. I'm able to actually do these problems faster than most of my own platoon. The platoon that we were cross-training with, one of the individuals in the platoon was the fastest gunner in the National Guard division. I beat him.
But fastest in terms of loading or?
No, fastest in qualification.
Okay.
I beat him. Literally. We went head to head. And both times, well, actually not even both times, multiple times, him and I ended up shaking hands. I literally stomped his ass. And he didn't stomp, he would never come close to stomping my ass. I would either stomp his ass or he would come close to getting to where I was at. Because and the problem with this is that my platoon thought that I was slow when it came to doing mortars. The problem is I was slow. But I wasn't the slowest when it came to them. My unit when I was active duty, I had guys that could do a large deflection with a 81 millimeter mortar system in 6 seconds. A large deflection. This is beyond 80 mils. These guys were the fucking shit. These guys could do shit with a mortar system that I could not do. When I got into this National Guard unit, these guys thought that doing this kind of stuff was unheard of.
Someone's phone's going off.
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay.
At least it's Alec Murphy.
Either way, I ended up becoming the best gunner in division.
Mortar support. I don't care all that much about speed. I care way more about accuracy than I
Well,
care.
that's
Efficiency. Yeah.
yes, but yeah, and that's the thing, and that was the thing that I was trying to tell the guys that were doing this training. I said
Mhm.
the trick is to be efficient first, slow is fast, or slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So therefore, you have to be accurate. So you have to be able to get your coordinates correct. Most of the guys that I was training, most of the guys that were competing with the guys that were using the 81s and the guys that I was in my unit with that used 120s didn't know to take a knee. They didn't know that they needed to take a knee behind the 81 in order to do the gunner's exam. They were standing at the 81 as though if the 81 was a 120. And I had to try to tell them, no. Whenever you do a gunner's exam on an 81, the first step is to take a knee. And that's
Well,
in
how
the
high
doctrine.
is the muzzle?
Huh?
It's at crotch height, wasn't it? Isn't it? I mean,
No, it's just I don't know if it has anything to do with crotch height. It's just that's the way it went. That's how I was trained. Like literally how I was trained was if you stepped up to an 81 and you forgot to take a knee at the 81, that was 25 push-ups. That was the first thing. If you fucked up and you stood there and you stepped there next to an 81 millimeter mortar system like you were going to gun it, and you didn't drop one knee, that was it. That was 25 push-ups.
Yeah.
If you didn't get within a half a mil, 25 push-ups. If you didn't do this within 1 second or a half a second, 25 push-ups. If you didn't do this, 25 push-ups. So here I was training with these guys, and here they are using 81s, and I'm like, yeah. And these guys are like, oh my God, you're the fastest 81 gunner we've ever seen. I'm like, I was the slowest in my goddamn unit. I literally beat the fastest gunner in the Michigan State National Guard Division, and I was the slowest gunner in my battalion. And none of them got that. None of them got that. I looked at all of them and I said, they're like, man, you're fucking awesome at this. I went, you have to understand, I beat the fastest gunner in your division, but in my battalion that I trained in active duty, I was the slowest gunner. These guys could not grasp that. They did not actually grasp the fact that in combat situations, mortars, 81 millimeter mortars, 120 millimeter mortars, can do large and small deflections. And if you're a good gunner, if you're a really good gunner, you can do a large deflection on your own without an assistant. You can literally make that shift, come out of 80, and drop that fucking bipod and make that shift. Fucking
something I never got the chance to look at. I've called in plenty of mortar and airstrikes, but I've never experienced the guys actually throwing stuff in the air. So I don't know how what the specifics of the trade, so to speak, is.
Well, artillery is different. I mean, we cross-trained with artillery when I was in the Army, but artillery is different because artillery is rifled. But mortars are not. That's the reason why it's called indirect fire, because it's literally not rifled. Artillery is rifled. That's the reason why it whistles when it comes in. Mortars don't whistle when they come in because the round has no spin. It's and so that's the real
a giant
trick.
knuckleball.
Exactly. And the trick is that artillery has a higher range. Mortars do not. So there's an MTOW. There's a particular MTOW or particular credence to when mortars are used and when artillery is used. Artillery is not the same as mortars, but yet they still use the same dynamics. They still use this idea of elevation or declination and elevation and on-site target. That's it. That's fucking simple. The only problem is that when I used a gun system that I wasn't familiar with, everybody thought, oh yeah, you're fucking stupid. You don't know what you're doing. But when I used the gun system that I was familiar with, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, you're a god. I'm like, yeah, because I used it for fucking 4 years. You put me on a gun system that I wasn't familiar with. Oh no, the principles still apply. Yes, the principles still apply. But it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same. So it's the same as saying, oh yes, artillery is the same as mortar usage. No, it's not. It's not.
Well, the closest I've ever come to shooting 81 millimeters, 84 millimeters by the Carl Gustav, as it was called.
Well, I've actually witnessed my platoon nearly get disbanded because we dropped 5 live 81 millimeter HE rounds on my battalion commander.
Oh,
whoopsie, or
yeah, that's
you out on the range looking at strikes or observing or whatever.
Yeah, that's
oops. No, somehow or another in our training, our gun system had somehow shifted 100 mils, and nobody knows how. The gun 2, so in a mortar system, in an 81 millimeter mortar system, as far as, because I'm just going to go on what I know, everything is aligned off gun 2. Gun 2 is the base gun. So everything gets based off gun 2. And in this particular field problem, gun 2 was matched and set in this particular field problem. In gun 2, our rounds were supposed to meet in a particular section during a particular invasion on a mount site within the training area. When that happened,
We're talking about a tripod mounted, not on a armored vehicle, right?
these 81 millimeters are ground mounted. They're mounted in the ground.
Yeah, but
They're
hand
not-
portable. They're not vehicle.
Yeah, they're not, and then they're well. It doesn't matter. It could have even happened with a 120 system if they were track mounted, because track mounted 120s could do the same thing. They would still end up in the same formation. So if it's a 120 system track mounted, they would still end up in a 4-win. Not 4 wins. 4 wins is different, but they would still end up laterally 1, 2, 3, 4, side by side, and then everything would be based on the 2-gun. 2-gun is base gun. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was just opening some Ritter Sport.
Okay. Yeah, I was just clarifying.
So
Either
we
way,
are gonna bring this to a close, at least the live portion. So you guys can keep talking if you so want, but I'm gonna let the audience go. That way we can catch our break before any transition over to Psy Strikes movie night. So with that, thank everyone for showing up and watching and being a part of the chat and everything. We will see you guys next week.